All right, man. All right, the coach got about an hour with y'all tonight. Okay, coach got to do some things with the coach's fam, and that's just the way that is. Okay, but the coach got him a good solid hour. I hate that echo. I always just seem to, I don't know, forget about the echo. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk some Holly Holm. We're gonna talk some Cris Cyborg. We're gonna talk about the war of words. Oh man, Cris Cyborg and Holly Holm been letting each other have it. And this is what it's all about. TJ347, the first man in the chat. The first man in the chat. TJ, I already know who you think gonna win this fight. I already know. I already know who you think is gonna win the fight. It's relatively easy. And as y'all come in, smash that like button. Smash the like button. Guys, this finna be a juice one. I'm gonna give y'all about an hour. I get about 5 people in the chat, man, and I'm finna go ahead and throw some ether bombs all over this place, man. Hopefully, I think I got in late enough. Maybe hopefully Lavelle Williams get in, and we get in and we go ahead and talk this up. But eventually we'll get in. But I got about an hour, man. I only got an hour. I know, man. I know. And hopefully, we get Skip Bayless to come on in here. Skip Bayless, yeah. I'm just playing. But yeah, man. Okay, 6 people in. Let's get this thing rolling. So Cris Cyborg, Holly Holm, they had a war. They had a war of words. I can't get it out. And I don't know. I think it's 3-1 Cris Cyborg. I think Cris Cyborg bodied Holly Holm. I thought Holly Holm did a good job though when she bodied Cris Cyborg because you know what? It's only so much that you can take. It's only so much you can take. There's only so much as a fighter that you're going to be able to take from another fighter. And folks, that's just the way that is. There's only so much crap that you're going to be able to take from another fighter. Okay? Truth be told. Tony Thomas, how you doing, sir, man? I'm glad. Thank you, man. Me and Eric, we try to make it as entertaining as possible. And Eric, that is my boy. We get on here, we do it together. Eric's going to try to jump in. Hopefully Eric will come in here pretty soon. But the scheduled podcast between me and Eric, we're going to tell you guys ahead of time so y'all don't miss when E Mays and Eric Sports is on the line. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, when E Mays and Eric is on this line, this thing is magic. Okay, this podcast is magic. There's nothing else to it. Okay, E Mays and Eric, to me, in my opinion, he makes the podcast run like a well-oiled machine. But Tony Thomas, TJ, let's go ahead and give these Holly Holm fans at work. I'm a Holly Holm fan, but I just think that Holly, I don't think she beating Cyborg. I'm just being honest, okay? If she do, I'm gonna make a video. I'll be the first person that makes a video that says, "Hey, Holly Holm, she did her thing." I mean, seriously. I mean, what do you guys think? TJ, Tony, what do you guys think, man? Who do you actually physically think is gonna win this fight? I'm gonna tell you who I think win it, and then I'm gonna break it down for y'all. Okay, I'm gonna break this thing down for everybody. Everybody want to hear. I'm gonna break it down. Okay. But Cris Cyborg and Holly Holm, these two, they have been going at it, y'all. But this is good because these two are selling the fight. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to sell the fight. Holly Holm, Cris Cyborg, they're supposed to sell this fight. Okay. Tony, I think Cyborg is going to win this fight. I think that I think people are living in the past. I think people are truly living in the past because they're thinking when Holly defeated Ronda Rousey. And, I have people tell me all the time, well, Holly Holm took down one person that was supposed to be, unbeatable in Ronda Rousey. But see, Ronda Rousey is not Holly Holm. I mean, Ronda Rousey is not Cris Cyborg. Sorry. Ronda Rousey definitely is not Cris Cyborg. Okay. Ronda Rousey is no special effects. She's back and forth. That's it. That's all Ronda Rousey does. Okay. She's back and forth, no special effects. Any outboxer, anybody with any kind of skill set, you can defeat Holly Holm. I mean, God, I'm mentioning that you can defeat Ronda Rousey. Okay. You can defeat Ronda Rousey. The thing of it is, though, if Ronda Rousey gets you to the ground, if she takes you down, then you're in a world of trouble. Okay, because Ronda Rousey, you know, every time she attempts an armbar, she's usually successful at pulling it off. I don't think I've ever seen anybody ever get out of Ronda Rousey's armbar. Never. But see, Ronda Rousey, Cris Cyborg, these are two different fighters. You're talking about a one-dimensional fighter versus a multi-dimensional fighter. Okay, you're talking about a fighter in Cris Cyborg that does a bit of everything very well. And you're talking about Ronda Rousey who does one thing very well. Okay. Holly Holm is going to have a tough time duplicating what she did against Ronda Rousey versus Cris Cyborg. She is. I'm a Holly fan. I wasn't too excited about the fight. To be completely honest, no, I wasn't excited about it at all. Okay. Because I know the end game. I know the end game of what's going to happen. I already know. Cyborg is going to get, yeah, it's 10 people here right now. Yeah, it's 10 people. Right? It's 10 people right now. They're just not saying that, but it's 10 people. Okay. And they'll come. They'll come in. Okay. They'll come in. Nah, I'm not worried about that. It's 11 people. So, you know, they're coming in slowly, but surely, you know, it is what it is. But that's my whole thing, you know? That's my whole thing. I just don't think, okay, with Holly Holm's skill set, I don't think that she's going to be able to do what she did. Excuse me. God, dog. Coughing. Had to cough. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, I just don't think that she's going to be able to have a duplicate performance against this Brazilian named Cris Cyborg. She was able to do it against Betchko Hoya because Betchko Hoya is limited. And people, we got to understand this. Betchko Hoya is very limited. So, you know, Holly could take the approach of Betchko Hoya. She could fight Betchko Hoya at a distance, you know. She could be an outfighter against Betchko Hoya and be effective. Because Betchko Hoya doesn't move her head. Now, Betchko Hoya is a better counterpuncher, okay? I think Betchko Hoya is a much better counterpuncher these days, but she's not on the level of Cris Cyborg. There's levels to this. There's levels, okay? I think Holly going after the Cris Cyborg fight, too. Holly's going to get a base pay of $500,000. You know she's going to get that base pay. Let me go ahead and describe the scenario for y'all, okay? It's 15 people in here, guys. This is a good crowd. You guys smash that like button. Okay, smash the like button. Let's get this thing popping. Let me tell you this though, Holly. It's. Let me tell you. Let me draw the scenario out for all of y'all. Okay, let me just draw it out, and I'm gonna tell you what's gonna go through the mind of Holly Holm after the first round. Okay, Holly Holm is gonna go back to the corner. Mike Winklejohn, he's gonna immediately jump in the ring and, you know, start telling Holly, "Hey, you're doing fine. You're doing okay. You're doing okay." After she done caught two Cris Cyborg right hands to the jaw, after she done took a Cris Cyborg leg kick to the stomach. And she's going to look right up at Mike Winklejohn and she's going to think to herself, you never, ever really thought, okay, you never thought that I can do this in the first place. Okay. And she's trying to figure out, I've never been hit that hard in my life. And she's going to turn. She's going to look over her right shoulder and she's going to see a bald head. You know, she's going to see this bald ass head. Okay. In Dana White. And it's going to look like an eggshell. She's going to look over the cue ball head. And cue ball head gonna be sitting there thinking, you know what? This is a lot of money. This is a lot of money I'm making. This is the biggest fight in women's MMA history. I'm gonna make a ton of money off this fight. And Holly gonna be looking at him and say, and she gonna say, you bald-headed bastard. You knew this would happen to me. You knew this would happen to me. You knew it would. You knew. And she gonna look at Winklejohn and she gonna say, and you never really thought that I can do this in the first place. That's what's gonna happen, y'all. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Thank y'all for coming in, guys. We got 16 people, guys. We got a nice little crowd. Hey, we only need about 5 and we got it. So 16 is more. All right. Actually, okay, let me start from TJ. TJ says, actually, I think she'll fight Cyborg, then fight Amanda, then retire. Both fighters are losses for Holly. Yeah, Cris and Amanda, they both beat Holly Holm. Holly Holm struggles, man. I'm going to tell you, she struggled against these wrestlers that can grapple you at angles. Holly Holm struggles very intensely against these Muay Thai fighters, these counterpunchers. I mean, she struggles against these people. And I'm sorry, if Amanda Nunes was able to actually subdue Valentina Shevchenko, and when I mean subdue, she cut it. Look, Amanda Nunes had Valentina going to plan A, B, and C. Okay. Valentina didn't even need a plan. Look, Valentina stayed on plan A with Holly. She ain't had to make no adjustment. Valentina just did whatever she wanted to do with Holly Holm. Valentina did whatever she wanted to do. Now, can you imagine Amanda Nunes who was able to control Valentina? What do you think What do you think Amanda would do to Holly? People, we got to be realistic. We can have a lot of faith, but I'm just saying that, you know what? If you got, first of all, you look at Winklejohn's demeanor, you look at his body language. The dude, to me, in my opinion, I don't think he think that Holly can win this fight. I don't think. I think Holly probably had to tell Winklejohn. I think Holly told Winklejohn, look, if you're gonna coach me, then dang it, you better believe in me. You bet. I mean, she probably had to have a come to Jesus moment with Mike Winklejohn. She probably did. And so that probably changed up Mike Winklejohn tune. They probably stopped talking about all these doping allegations from the past. And he probably just said, you know what? Forget it. Okay, let's just go. Let's just do it. Let's just go on and do it. Okay. But it was good to see Holly Holm actually saying something. It was good to see her saying, you know what? Okay, I'm not afraid of you. I'm training. See, that's what I want to hear Holly Holm do. Because honestly, she's going to improve it. Look, if Holly Holm can go all 5 rounds of Cris Cyborg, if Holly can survive, you know that's a victory for Holly Holm. That's a victory. Y'all, Holly Holm does not have to beat Cris Cyborg to beat Cris Cyborg. And guys, y'all need to understand that. Holly Holm does not have to defeat Cris Cyborg to beat Cris Cyborg. Folks, that's just the way that is. That's just the way that is. It's just the way that is. Okay. And TJ, let me see. Patrice, poor Holly, she be trying. Yeah, Patrice, she do. She do. Shout out to Patrice. Thank you for joining the live stream. I appreciate you coming in. You got Tony Thomas over here laughing. You know, Tony Thomas, man, what's so funny, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. You can't be sitting back here laughing. What are you doing? TJ Aquarius, I hope I said that right. No one has any faith in poor Holly. No, I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't. Okay. Faith versus facts. Yep. Honestly, her lack of ground game is her biggest weakness. A ground game would have beaten. Yes. Yeah. I think Holly Holm's lack of a ground game definitely has been playing in, because now, you know, look at, you know, when, you know, like Holly Holm was knocking out the Alana Joneses, and, you know, she was knocking out, you know, all these other people that they don't have a lot. They're not one dimensional. They're not one dimensional. I mean, they're one dimensional. Like Holly Holm, some of her biggest wins, honestly, her most brutal knockouts, they've been against people who are very one dimensional. But now you get Valentina Shevchenko, okay, who's very multidimensional, can beat you in any way. She can beat you by submission. She can beat you on the ground. She can beat you, you know, when she's standing up. Valentina Shevchenko can do these things. So you fight, and then, you know, who else? She fought Jermaine de Randamie. Jermaine de Randamie isn't, she's not multidimensional, but she's got more dimensions than an Alana Jones. Okay. Like, you know, Jermaine de Randamie, she can clinch. You know, Jermaine can win the battle of the clinch because she's done kickboxing / Muay Thai. Jermaine de Randamie will win the battle of the clinch. And she pretty much, as a technical term, manhandled Holly Holm. That's what she did. Okay, Aquarius, I haven't seen Cyborg's ground game. Is she good at the actual takedown? Holly's a big, strong girl. Cyborg isn't good to take down. Holly might be able to stuff the takedown. Yeah, Cyborg is great at takedowns. Go back and watch the Gina Carano fight. Go back and watch, golly, I don't even want to count Lena Landsberg. She did what she wanted to do. Watch Gina Carano. Watch how she took down Gina Carano. And that was 6 years ago. You know, she's evolved since then. You know, she's like a BJJ black belt. Cyborg has a black belt in BJJ. They don't just give out black belts in BJJ. You gotta, like, I mean, it's like almost a 2 or 3 year process to even get a black belt in BJJ. They just don't give them to you. A black belt in BJJ means you know how to go to the ground. That's what that means. I just don't see it. If I literally thought Cyborg would lose the fight, I would say it, y'all. I tell y'all, I'm biased. I'm very biased on this channel. Yes, I am. Okay. And I know that maybe turns some people off. It's okay. I admit that. I'm biased, straight up. But I would tell y'all, if I think that Holly Holm will win this fight, I'd tell you straight up. Just like I'm a fan of Alexa Grasso. I'm a big fan of Alexa Grasso. But if she was to fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk right now, Joanna Jędrzejczyk beats Alexa Grasso at this point in her career. Now, maybe, Alexa go about 3 or 4 more years. Maybe Alexa Grasso is ready. But I'm talking about today, right now, if Alexa Grasso had to fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Alexa Grasso, she loses. Okay? And I'm not even a Joanna Jędrzejczyk fan. Not even close. I'm not close to being a fan, but hey, I got to recognize facts, okay? Joanna Jędrzejczyk is something of, Joanna Jędrzejczyk is something of an anomaly. Like she's just something that's very rare. She's very, very rare. So no. So I'm gonna keep it very real. I'm gonna keep it as real as I can. But I think that Holly, her biggest thing is it is that ground game. It's the ground game. Okay. And she tried against Jermaine Durandame. She tried to take Jermaine down, but Jermaine has evolved too. And Jermaine's takedown defense has gotten a lot better. Her takedown defenses are getting better. So, for Holly to take down Jermaine, it would have been great, man. Because had Holly Holm gotten ground position on Jermaine Durandame, even if Holly could have got Jermaine into maybe even a half guard, she could have actually controlled a lot of that fight. Okay? And my main man, Truth and Facts About Boxing, he's on here. Yo, Truth, you feel like coming on, man? Because we can talk about the Oscar De La Hoya segment, man. Hoping my main man Eric get on here. He said he tried to pass through, but now when I do podcasts with Eric, I tell you guys ahead of time because now I just jumped on the stream. Okay, I just jumped on this live stream, but when I get with Eric, I'm gonna definitely tell you guys ahead of time when Eric is on because man, my podcast with him on it's not a podcast about Eric. Okay, I don't have a podcast about Eric because Eric, it's something about the guy. It's something about Amazing Eric that everything with him, it just clicks, man. It just clicks. But that's what it is. My boy Truth and Facts, he's in the house. Man, I send you the link. We can go ahead and get talking about Oscar. Fishnets, man, Fishnets up the line, man. You know what Fishnets doing, okay? Fishnets, his problem is, man, he's trying to get these guys, okay? Oscar De La Hoya is trying to get these guys, and the problem is, man, that these guys, they're on to these emails. And Oscar De La Hoya, he got to stop, sniffing a line of coke. He's going to have to stop drinking. And he going to have to address these racist emails. He going to have to address them. If Oscar De La Hoya don't address these emails, then, okay, there it is. There it is. He's got to address these emails. My man, Truth and Facts About Boxing. Guys, go subscribe to that channel, man. Definitely, it's an up-and-coming channel. The guy knows his stuff about boxing, man. Yeah, he'll come on here. He'll educate the crap out of me. Now, Oscar need to address those emails. And then, you got Bernard Hopkins, man, trying to act like the token black guy for Oscar De La Hoya. Like what? All they got to do, man, is address the emails. That's it. He ain't even got to go into no big, long speech. You know what Oscar got to say? He just got to say, you know what? Hey, we at Golden Boy, we don't have that philosophy. That person will be reprimanded. Anything. For me personally, I would have been like, hey, okay, cool. Oscar has addressed it. That's fine. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on with life, okay? Hey, guys, this is Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show Live, okay? You guys hit that like button on the way in. Tell your friends. We having a great conversation. My man Truth and Facts About Boxing, he's going to come in, and I'm going to have some talks with this guy. Guys, come on in. You don't know. This guy is interviewing fighters, man. I'm going to have Truth and Facts About Boxing coming into this live stream podcast. And guys, you don't want to miss this conversation with Truth and Facts About Boxing. And he's only got a short time, man. You know how long I've been trying to get on a live stream with Truth and Facts. I've been trying for a long time. And finally, man, he going to give Coach the time of day. That's how big this guy is, man. That's how good this guy is with his boxing knowledge, okay? I'm telling y'all. You don't want to miss this, okay? You don't want to miss this. He going to drop some gems. I promise you, Truth and Facts About Boxing will drop a gem. And that's just the way that is. That's just the way that is. All right, let me get this into him. Let me send him this link. All right, this is my main man. Okay. I sent them the link. Yeah, I already sent you the link. Ben sent the link. Okay, but anyway, yeah. That's what Oscar De La Hoya, man, he needs to do. Okay. Oscar need to come on, man. He need to get off of that, you know, address those emails. Because you know what's kind of funny, man? Don't nobody even want to mess with Oscar De La Hoya. Don't nobody want to deal with the guy, man. And I used to think, man, maybe, Oscar, yeah, okay, he's a little weirdo. Okay, fine. He likes to dress up. He likes to role play, He likes to do these things. But, I used to say, you know what, all in all, he's a great promoter. Okay. I used to think that. And, guys, this is hurtful to me because I'm a big Canelo Alvarez fan. Yeah, believe it or not, I got like a million videos on Canelo. I'm telling you, I got a million videos on Soul Canelo Alvarez. Okay. I'm a Canelo fan. I always have been. You can go check my video archive and you will see that I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan. Okay. All right. I'm going to wait for Truth and Facts About Boxing to get in here. Okay. It get you to join Firefox. Okay. All right. I sent you the link. I sent the link again to you, Truth. Okay. And I'll wait till Truth gets in here. I sent him the link again. But okay, well, hold on, guys. Let me switch gears. Let me go back to Holly Holm. Okay. Let me go back to this. So people are giving Cris Cyborg a lot of flack, saying, well, Cris already tested positive for drugs. And you know what? Yeah, she did. I agree with Cyborg. Look, if you're going to test me 8 times, now Cris Cyborg was tested 8 times before her last fight. 8. And I can understand why that's necessary because she's tested positive before. See, I'm not arguing the fact, yeah, test her. But okay, let's test Holly Holm because Holly, at one point, I thought Holly Holm bodied Cris Cyborg. I thought she bodied her. I said, yeah, Holly got her. But then Cris Cyborg came back and said, but yeah, I was tested 8 times before one fight. See, there's a difference. So Cris Cyborg is not going away. People can say Cris Cyborg trying to complain. You know what? Here's my thing. I don't think she complained. Why can't Cris Cyborg make the money that, in her opinion, she thinks that the blonde hair, these women, they're making more money because they got the blonde hair. Well, she's worth that much too. That's just how it is. She's worth that much. And people can say Cris Cyborg is this. Oh, Cris Cyborg is a dude. Cris Cyborg looks like Wanderlei Silva. You can say all of that if you want to, but you can't deny her talent. And the man is on, guys. I can't believe this, y'all. Guys, Truth and Facts About Boxing has entered the broadcast, y'all. God almighty. Truth and Facts, how you doing, man?
Good, man. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be here, man.
Man, man, are you serious? Guys,
Yeah.
I don't even think y'all know who this is, man. Y'all, it's something wrong with y'all. If y'all do not know this man, y'all don't know who he is, man. This guy has probably one of the best boxing live podcasts out there because he's not just having a podcast. The man has fighters, managers, promote. I mean, he's got everybody on this podcast, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. So, man, well, we can just talk boxing in general, man. Good grief, man. Hey, man, you educated. So, man, okay, what are your whole thoughts, man? I'm just curious. What are your thoughts about this whole AJ and Wilder thing going on?
You know what, man? At first, at first, I was getting caught up in the whole back and forth, but then I realized, if you follow the history of the sport, this is what we used to have with you had one guy in Marvin Hagler chasing Sugar Ray Aaron prior to ducking Leonard. And then, Leonard went on and retired on him, then came back, and he was always whispering in the wings. Same thing with Floyd and Manny. So, I mean, it could be them building a fight. It could be them building a fight. It could be real. But I think at the end of the day, if I always say this, if you can relate to, because I can relate to Deontay Wilder because I'm a father and I have a daughter and he has a daughter. He would do anything for his daughter. So I can relate to Deontay Wilder. But look, man, I don't have a problem. I think first off, everybody got to understand. They try to say I try not to be a nationalist or a tribalist, but that's just not true because whenever you have rivalries, which is USA versus UK, that's going to happen, and it's good for the sport. Just recognize it and don't let it get out of control. That's my thing. But Joshua, and I say it this. when he was talking at 2019, 2020, he had his business hat on. He had it, that's Joshua with his business hat on. And, Wilder is just like, look, man, I want a piece of this guy because he's eager to prove himself, um, because the fights that have eluded him that could have proven him, the guys, they eluded him. So he's trying to get that tag off of him and make a move. So it's interesting. I like it. I think it's keeping the interest in the heavyweight division there and in both guys. Like everybody's is eagerly paying attention to Twitter, Instagram, and everything to see what's going to happen next. So, I just think it's all good fun, but I just think we, as the responsible people who have the podcast, sometimes have to identify it and kind of, calm the noise because casual is going to take it and run with it. We have to kind of keep it, under a certain control.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we do, man. And it's kind of disheartening, And I see everybody, you guys want the Cyborg questions answered. We'll go back to that. Don't worry. It's rare, man, because he only got a few minutes, y'all, and he said he can come in here, man. So
I actually like your conversation about Cyborg and Holly Holmes. I've been following that. I saw the one where Holly Holmes ethered Cyborg, but then Cyborg kind of ethered her back a little bit there.
man, Cyborg took it to another level. Cyborg said she gonna whoop her ass when she get in there.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I've been.
And see, when I do those, man, when I do, that's my first reaction. Okay, like I didn't listen to it first. That's my first reaction. And I'm gonna tell you, man, good grief. But man, let me touch on something that you said, man. And guys, I need y'all to hear to see. You guys are listening to a boxing aficionado. This guy, he's not just waking up, man, and say, "Oh, I'm a boxing fan." This man is kicking jewels. And see, he really didn't go deep, man. He really just touched the tip of the iceberg of this whole thing, okay? This man, truth and facts, he's touched the tip of the iceberg. Trust me, he is levels to what he knows, man. He on the very first level. But I want to touch on something, man. You said that like the fanurism is getting out of hand, man. And I think so too, because I'm actually was cool with a lot of UK channels, and because I don't do as much boxing as I used to, I didn't get into like the full firefight of that. But it's like, yeah, man, I'm feeling a little awkward, man, when I go to their channels and these people that I've known for years, man, and leave a comment, and it's like, here come a Wilder nut hugger, and I'm like, well, um, wait a minute, what you mean? I'm just listening to a good podcast. It's a good listen, and I enjoy it. So now I've kind of felt it a little awkward going to certain channels now, man, because I'm like, dang, man, okay. So I mean, that's how it is. I mean, we're grown men. We can't handle just having a difference of opinion. I mean, man, what is your thought about that?
You know what? Man, look, I'm almost, well, I guess I can officially say I'm a half a century, man, but I just kind of take it with a grain of salt. I don't take it personally because at the end of the day, I think we all love the sport and we all have a passion for it. And sometimes that passion, and me myself, sometimes that passion can get in the way of it. So I just kind of gloss over it because the Wilder and the heavyweight division has not been this loud and is this loud with two competitive guys from two different countries that have a history of a rivalry. I think if it was two Americans or even two UK, and it wouldn't be like this. So I just look at it like, what, they're taking up for their guy like we taking up for our guy, and they're being aggressive like we're being aggressive. Because if you listen to them talk about anything else, it's not the same way. So, I just take it with a grain of salt, man. And I realize, what, I'm not gonna push it. Do I think some guys, as on the UK side, go a little far? Yeah, but then again, some of us here in the US, we can go a little bit far too. That's why I say I think it's a responsibility for those of us that have the show to just make sure we identify it and kind of try to keep it down. And if another guy wants to carry on with it, then just don't partake in it.
Okay, hey man, and see guys, y'all really can you guys really see what's going on, man? This dude, hey, he kicking 100% truth. Okay, well, let me invite my guy Lavelle Williams in here, man, because he definitely, we're gonna discuss this. We're definitely gonna discuss this Cris and Cyborg deal. Lavelle, I'm gonna get you in there. Let me see. Valerina, I'm glad you're live, coach. Okay, Valerina, thank you for supporting the channel. But Truth and Fact says something very, very serious. Like, hey, it's not that serious. It's just fight talk. And I think that's what people forget, man. That this is just fight talk. We're sports fans. And so that's what it is, man. Okay, so
because even if you
okay,
fighter, if you watch the fighters at the end of the fight after all these
Are you with me? Hello? Hey, are we still
yeah,
there?
Coach Harris,
Okay,
can you hear
yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, man. You kind of went out on me, man. Okay, yeah, go ahead, man. Could you finish that thought for me, man?
No, I was saying even if because I think what we all have to understand, like fighters actually have ran into each other at some point during the amateurs or in camps with helping other guys get ready. Both Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua was in with Vladimir Klitschko. So they know about each other. They know each other. They do all this back and forth. And if you have in the fight, what do? They share, get out like this. So it's not. I just look at it like, it's sport. They got to promote themselves because boxing is the only sport that don't have, like football and basketball, something that promotes it itself. These guys got to self promote themselves. So
Yeah, they do, man. And that's something, that you said about the promoters, man. These guys, they really got to get it out there. And I think Wilder is doing what he got to do, man. He wants that fight. He wants to get in there with Joshua. And I don't see what the problem is, man. I'm not really about the money and all that. I really, as a fight fan, I just want to see the two best guys fight. These are the two best guys in the heavyweight division. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and strap up. Okay. Let's strap up. Let's see who
agreed.
the best. Let's see who got the best knuckle game. Let's do this thing. Okay. Let's stop talking about it. Let's stop, hey, we're going to push it off to 2020 because I'm a I'm a Joshua fan and I don't think these guys get it. Okay. I can be a Joshua fan and I can be a Wilder fan, and I can tell you that I'm extremely biased, but when I hear some BS in one of my fight, I'm gonna call it out. And I'm sorry. It just, he didn't sound too confident. When he said that 2019, 2020, that was it. I was done. I was completely done with the whole conversation. And I'm like, well, God, man, you know, come on, come on. You have a belt. I'm not trying to hear that. Okay, well, your experience level, Wilder got more experience. You should have thought about that before you picked up that strap. Okay, now you're a champion. You need to fight the other champions. Okay, that's just how it is.
No, you know what? I agree with that sentiment when he was saying my issues were when he was saying things like I'm not going to be rushed. I'm like, well, you didn't feel that way when you went after Charles Martin or Vladimir Klitschko. You didn't feel like he was being rushed. And once you become a champion, I've said this for anybody. When Jared Hurd picked up a strap and Laura wanted to fight him, I told people, hey man, he got every right to fight him because once you grab that belt, you become a target. And people were saying that, why should he fight Lauda as a first title defense? Well, David Lemieux had to fight Gennady Golovkin as the first title defense. I mean, like, these are grown men. Stop babying them. So I just didn't like that when he said that about I'm not going to be rushed. It'll happen when I feel the time is right. It's like, no, you can't really do that because you're holding two belts now, not just one but two. So that was something that I found kind of disturbing. But I get it though. I really do. I get it. At the end of the day, it's a business to these guys. Um, it's not the same coach as when I was watching boxing. They were more fighters. They were more about fighting than businessmen. Now they're more about business than fighting, in my opinion.
See, man, if these guys fight for legacy, man, I was always told, even when I was boxing, man, when I was doing it, if you fight for legacy, man, you're going to be rich. I mean, because the money's going to come. If you fight a bunch of tough fights, man, that means you're going to have star power. And then when you get star power, guess what? You'll be able to demand the kind of paydays you want fighting, all the great challenges, man. And, I heard Mike Tyson say it one time best. He said, listen, I really wanted to fight them all. I had to know if I was the best. I wanted to fight them all. And if I couldn't fight them all, then there's no way that I can know. And Mike is a little bit out of his mind these days, but I do like some of the things that he says about these guys right now. They don't want to. They just don't want the test, man. They don't want it. And you got guys turning down like their highest paydays, man. I mean, you got guys turning down their highest paydays because they just don't want to do it, man. And I'm like, God, these guys, I mean, is it really a generational thing? Are we dealing with, these mothers, man, that's raising these boys, man, that where, everybody gets surprise generation. That's what I call it. Everybody gets surprise generation. Everybody, if you don't have to do something, you ain't got to do it if it's tough. You can just kind of sit back and let it pass you by generation. That's what I'm thinking.
I did a video early today where I brought up the names of fighters who were contenders that never won belts. That if you look at the gauntlet they had to go through, I mentioned Obakar when he was the welterweight, and he had to go through Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, and Ike Cortez. He lost all of them, but he was a hell of a competitor. But that's the gauntlet he had to go through. Mustafa Hamsho, he was denied being a middleweight champion because he kept running into Marvin Hagler. Of course, we know about Charles Burley, but a lot of people don't know Sam Langford. Although he was a world champion, but he was the world colored heavyweight champion. He was never a world champion. And Jack Johnson didn't want to fight him when Jack Johnson was the world colored heavyweight champion or the world champion. So to your point, it's a generational thing, but it's also the business. The business of boxing has always been about protecting the guys that can bring them the most money and getting the most money when the time was right to fight the guy that they wanted them to fight. Coach Harris?
Yeah. Hey, I'm here. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
No, okay. No, I'm sorry. I was done.
Okay. And guys, truth and facts, man, he just dropped another gem on y'all, man. See, I'm gonna tell you something, man. When you get guys like him and guys like Blood Boxing and these guys that know boxing, okay, that know a lot about the sport, they're gonna drop these gems. And he just dropped a gem about how the promoters work, y'all. He telling y'all, this man has inside knowledge of the business, y'all. He knows the business. This man knows a lot of fighters, okay? He's very, very well connected. So, guys, you really, even go back in the archive, man, and listen to the gem that he just dropped on y'all. Okay, I mean, it was priceless, man. It was priceless. And I'm gonna ask you one more question, man. Then I'm gonna, I know some of my MMA fans are getting, they're ready for it. But man, okay, in your opinion, man, why do you think Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr., and why do you think who else was that? Well, they turned down offers, man, to deal with Oscar De La Hoya and fight Miguel Cotto.
Jesse Vargas turned it down because they didn't offer him enough money, and that's the reality of it. Is unfortunately our sport has turned into a lot of guys, high risk, low reward. So if you want me to take this risk, you're gonna have to pay me. So Jesse Vargas turned it down because they didn't offer him enough money. Earl Spence and Mikey Garcia turned it down because, and I use this analogy, if you ever had a car and you're making these payments on your car, then when you're done making them payments on your car, you say to yourself, you might get a flat tire or brakes being done, but you say, you know what, I'll spend this $300 to get my car fixed before I go out and buy me another car because I just got done paying for this car. I'm not trying to go back into another note. Well, it's the same thing with Mikey Garcia. He just left Top Rank to take control of his career. Now he has control of his career. Mikey Garcia has actually probably done better from a financial standpoint and from his name being mentioned more on his own than when he was with Top Rank. He has one fight, then he fights for a title, then he has a profile fight with Adrian Broner, and he doesn't want to go back into not a multi-fight, but a multi-year deal with Oscar De La Hoya where he gives back up control after he went through all that to gain control, which I totally understand that. Same thing with Earl Spence. Earl Spence has been able to accomplish things without a promoter. He went through the ranks, he came up, he became a world champion. He was a known name before. Earl Spence was like the LeBron James of boxing. He was crowned a champion before he won the title. And there was a lot of guys who did feel some kind of way, and rightfully so, but he did finally win that title. And now that he has a title, now that he sees the benefits of being a champion and the money that's coming to him and the moves that he can now dictate on his own, why would he go to a promoter when he can control his own destiny? And like he said, he wants to start his own promotional company. So when you're a man, just not even boxing, when you're a man, you start to want to do things yourself. You start to want to take more control of your own life yourself, because this is what you get to in boxing. You get to that point in boxing to where you're in control of your career, because
You've always wanted to be able to get in that ring and determine the path you want to go on. There's a lot of fighters who had promoters that didn't do anything for him. Robert the Ghost Guerrero said his promoter one time tossed his number in the garbage can. Okay, we all know Rigondeaux never really he made some bad choices in picking promoters, but he never had decent promoters do things for him. So
Yeah.
if you got guys that just want to take control of their career, because at the end of the day, it is their lives and their career. Now, I'm not mad at Oscar for wanting these guys because Bob Arams once did it. Well, Bob Arams do it all the time. That's the reason why we never got the Chavez-Gennady Golovkin fight. He wanted Chavez to sign an extension when he had a year and a half left to give him more money. He said no. But Oscar he has 171 fighters, and he has maybe 3 or 4 fighters we know, but the main fighter that makes up 75% of the income is Canelo Alvarez. So he's trying to go after some of these other young horses out here that he knows can bring some other revenue in, which is Mikey Garcia and Earl Spence. I mean, I give him credit for aiming for the top. But the reality is, though, if once you become your own man, you don't want to go back under the control of another man, even if, and you know what, and shout out to 7-8 because he also has a point. As a man, if I had a father who was a bit of a Fruit Loop, I would respect him as I would respect him as my dad because I have respect for him. But I'm not trying to follow him. I'm trying to make my own mark, and that way I can be identified as separate from that. Yes, I'll be recognized as your son, but I'm separate from what you do. And that's something Oscar has to understand. The things that he's done, you can't trust him when it comes to business because he almost lost his business. And did Richard Schaefer snake him? Of course he snaked him. But that couldn't happen if you was in control of your business. Canelo Alvarez's biggest fight against Floyd, you checked into a rehab center. So Oscar just have to understand it's because of your past, the things you said, and like you said, the not answering for those racist emails. People look at stuff like that and they like, you know what? No, I think I'm gonna stay away from that. But outside of that, I think you're just talking about Mikey Garcia and Earl Spence, who are their own men, and they just don't. Now that they have control of their lives and things is going their way, they want to run the ship themselves. They want to be their own captain of their life.
Yeah, my man ex Gaucho, he said you can't trust a guy wearing them fishnets, man. And I got to say, man, I don't think a lot of these guys respect him, man, because they know about the fishnets, they know about him with the woman and letting the woman do things with him. They know about all this stuff, man. These guys know about this, and then they also know about those emails, man. And somebody actually asked him about that, and you know what his comment was? Oscar said, "Well, no comment." Like no comment. So if you're not going to even say, you know what, hey, that's fine. Okay, if he want, truth, if he want to wear his fishnets, if he kinky, that's fine. That's his business. If he want to do all that stuff, great. But see, now when you're trying to bring in fighters of different nationalities, especially you want to bring in black fighters, and they know that, okay, well, you condone it. I mean, you just saying, well, no comment. Wait a minute, hold on. What you mean no comment? All you got to say is, hey, this is Golden Boy Promotions. We don't think like that. Hey, I will reprimand. And I think most people would have been okay with, hey, I will reprimand this guy. Listen, I'm gonna talk to him. We'll fire him or whatever. And then you know what? He could have kept him behind the scenes. We would have never knew. But see, just to detach and say nothing, and then you got B Hop. B Hop that got knocked out the ring, who claimed he was pushed. That B Hop. He it's like they act like it don't exist, man, and to not acknowledge that, even if he could get an Errol Spence, man. I mean, do you think Errol Spence would have a lot of respect amongst his fan base? Because just be honest, I mean, do you think the Hispanic fan base gonna support Errol Spence Jr. like they do Canelo? I'm just saying, I'm just bringing up these points, man. So I think it's a bad move for Errol Spence either way it go. It's just a bad move until this guy can go ahead and address those emails. I think that's his biggest problem.
It's not so much as him addressing emails. It's him addressing the emails. It's him addressing the fact that he had to check into alcohol rehabilitation during Canelo fight. It's recently him getting caught drunk driving. Mainstream media is letting Oscar De La Hoya get away with things that even someone of Oscar De La Hoya's status, and yes, I'm gonna say it, and people are not gonna like it. They're letting Oscar De La Hoya get away with something that someone, if they were African American in Oscar De La Hoya's position, could not get away with. And they're allowing him to do that. And that's what's wrong, is the media is allowing him to do that. That's why every chance I get, like you guys, I always bring that up when it comes to them. Is, you know, it should not be okay that the problems that you have, especially when it comes to race, because at the end of the day, we are your consumers, we are your customers. I mean, yes, you're only going to be able to ride that Latino wave for so long, and then eventually you're going to have to try to appeal to us. And if you was trying to get Earl Spence, you got to try to appeal to us. And I personally, for one, I know until you answer those emails, I'm sorry. Now, I'm not gonna wish you go out of business because it's bad for boxing. But at the same time, I'm with you, man. Listen, I have a lack of respect because the fact that you refuse to answer, the fact that Bernard Hopkins is sitting there next to this, the same Bernard Hopkins. Remember, they got up in Jim Lampley's face about his career being talked bad. Not Jim Lampley. Larry Merchant face about how Larry Merchant talked bad about him, how he's a proud black man. Well, here's your chance to have a proud black man moment. All you got to do, and I'm with you, is say, listen, we don't condone that. This guy is a contributor, but we don't condone that. This did happen on our watch, and we will take care of it. If he'd have said that, nobody would have checked up on it, to see what happened later on. But the fact that you're not even acknowledging it, that's the bad part.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I defended Canelo Alvarez to the very end. Like and people ask me, well, coach, how come man, you didn't even make a Canelo post-fight video. Look, I don't give a damn about no damn Canelo and no Oscar. I don't care about them now. I was defending, look, the LDBC coach, man, how come you all on Canelo testicles? Hey, look, I'm a Canelo fan. I like the way he fight. I mean, it's not that, I love the way the guy fights. Okay, I'm a fan of his work. Even though you can say his resume, you can say that's maybe it's suspect. Okay, fine, but I like the stylistic and I could appreciate Canelo stylistically how he fights. I mean, I'm a fan of his fight style. A guy that can bang, but it can also be defensive at the same time. So I like that style. So I was a Canelo fan since when he first had his first fight, man. Like I was literally a fan then, and it kind of hurt me, man, to not be able to, because I'm taking a stand. I'm not giving them any free press, man, if they can't even do as much as address those emails. Now think, man, what if there's a lot of fans, a lot of black fight fans like me, who feel that same way? Who, hey, they like Canelo, because I did, man. I got I got about 40 videos in defense of Canelo Alvarez. I'm talking about, man. I got about 40 videos in defense of Canelo Alvarez in my videos right now. I do. And I make videos, I be defending them. You know what? Canelo gonna beat up Triple G. I would say that with the best of them. And I believed it too. I thought Canelo won the fight, but it is what it is. Every time. That's what I was doing.
What? Just take me back to something, and it's funny. They don't have to address the race emails, but remember when Adrian Broner said, I just beat a Mexican? And they were screaming, oh, that was racial, that was racial. Remember how they wanted him to apologize for that?
And he did.
And he didn't say nothing racial. All he said was Mexican. And they want him to apologize. Remember how they was all over Angel Garcia for the bitch ass nigga comment to Keith Thurman? Remember that? So yeah. How come we're not on Oscar for the same thing? That's the problem. You have to be, if there's no fairness and equal justice, then you always have division, divisiveness, and outrage. And until you can solve those things, then you're always going to have this issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be there, man. And, it's funny, man, how people, the LDBC, man, the LDBC is racist. We're doing this. But you know what? I see more guys like me. We biased. And I'm biased. But, man, if I see a rat, I'm going to call a rat, man. I'm a Keith Thurman fan. For some reason, everybody think, oh, I'm against Keith Thurman. Nah, man. But when you can't acknowledge Errol Spence Jr., when you can't, and then when you talk about him, it's like, okay, well, I don't know when I'm going to fight him, but I'm going to fight him. The fight may happen in 2018, but the fight may happen, it can happen later than that. But it's like this guy, when you ask him about Danny Garcia, a rematch, oh, yeah, that's good. Well, and this is how he said. Well, I'm gonna just tell you about Earl Spence. I'm not ducking Earl Spence. I'm not ducking him. You know what's going on? This, I got to rehab, and I got to finish getting up on my wife. I just got married, and hey, but Keith, how about Danny Garcia? oh, well, hell. Hell, we made that fight right now. Hell, yeah, you know, I'm getting tired, sick and tired of loudmouth dads, and you know, I'll go and I'll murk that boy. You know, that's what he be saying. And I'm sitting here like,
Yep.
did he just say that? Did Keith Thurman just get slick on us and be like, damn? And people fell for that. But I saw right through Keith Thurman. I saw through it, and I said, Ponytail Man, you gotta do better than that, Ponytail Man. You gotta come better than that. You and your ponytail, you're gonna have to fight Errol Spence Jr. That's just how it is. Okay. And I know, man, he's got a rehab, and I can even get him saying, like, hey, I don't want to take the first guy back yet off my okay. If he tell me, look, I need 3 tune-up fights to fight Errol Spence Jr., you know what? I can live with that. But don't sit here and say, well, you're gonna fight him, but you know, what that fighter happened. No, Keith. It was a yes or no question. Do you want to fight him? Yes or no? Okay, don't come on, man. I ain't trying to hear that.
My biggest problem with that, coach, is this, and like you said, I fought in the amateurs also as well. And as a former fighter, and just, you know what, just as a man with pride, I will never look across from another man that's staring at me like I'm lunch and say I'm not as hungry as him, but I can get no. You never say that to another fighter, and Keith knows that. You never openly admit, oh, I might not be as hungry as him. No. I'm just as hungry. I'm like, there are things you say publicly. Now, privately, you can say something different, but there are things you have to make sure you say publicly if you want to protect your image, or if you want to convince me that you're not afraid. And I just thought that was a poor choice of words by Keith Thurman.
Man, you know, and I see my boy Eric in here. Hold up, Eric. Just one last thing. Yeah, man, you know, it's kind of weird, man. I'm really good at psychology, okay? I'm very good at psychology, and I'm gonna tell you, man, Keith Thurman body language, his heart is not in boxing, man. I'm telling you. He's physically, his heart is not there. Like I don't even think Keith don't even, he didn't want to be there giving an interview. Keith don't want to be there. Keith don't want to be there. Okay, he just don't. And I can tell this man, if he get in a ring now, some scrub may be Keith Thurman, man. This man got to get his heart into the game, man. And especially, you know, you talking about
Marvin Hagler once said it's hard to get up and go to grimy work when you're waking up in silk underwear.
Silk pajamas, yeah.
Yep, fighters have to be hungry. When you're a fighter, you have to be hungry. You have to be mean. You have to be aggressive. You have to be ready to be hostile at any moment. Once you are content as a fighter, that's when you've lost. That's when you pretty much have handed over pretty much your crown to the next guy coming for it. And that's the God's honest truth.
That's true. That's true. Well, Coach, can you guys hear me, Coach? Because I want to say this the truth and facts before he jumps out.
Amazing Eric, guys. Hold on. My boy Amazing Eric is on, guys. And if y'all don't know this, man, look, this is the best YouTube moderator on YouTube. Yes, folks, let me stop, Eric. Let me finish.
Come on, man.
This is the best. Look,
guys, yeah, you are. Hey, I watch your show. I've watched you. I watch how you interview. You mean your questions are like you ask questions that people really want to ask. You're on point. You don't ask these. You know, give me a paycheck softball question, man. You ask the question that we want to know. Do you want to make this fight? Yes or no? I like that, man. I like what you do.
I appreciate it, man.
Guys, this live stream just got even livelier. This is the best YouTube. This is the best moderator on YouTube. Like I say, hey, this is the best women's MMA platform on YouTube. This is the best moderator on YouTube. Matter of fact, y'all need to go get somebody. I'm stealing his line. Go get somebody. Tell him to come in. Listen to how this guy operates. And listen, if you have a live stream, any kind of live stream, you need to get this man in your live stream because I want y'all to see what he does. Okay, Eric, let's just go to work, man. Let's go.
And see, when people put all this pressure on you, now I feel like I'm MJ. I just came into the game and I don't know if I can do it. I'm just playing. Now I feel like Keith Thurman. I don't know. But anyway, let me say this before we get started. Thank both of you brothers for that. What's up to all my family out here? I see everybody in the stream. And like Coach said, you know how I say it. Go tell somebody. Go tell a friend. Everybody join up. But I want to say this, first of all, truth and fact. I just went over and subbed up to your channel. It has been an honor to sit and listen to you, my brother, break down boxing. You are truly one of the real legit knowledgeable boxing fans. As I was listening to you talk, I felt like I was in boxing 101. I almost wanted to take notes. So props to you, man. I really appreciate you, what you shared. So I have a question for my man Truth and Facts, though, because I want to get his opinion on something. I spoke on this on a video, and this is as I heard you guys talking about Keith Thurman, and it brings me to Keith Thurman and Anthony Joshua. What we've had recently with Keith Thurman and what we've had with Anthony Joshua, if we've actually had two of our champions, not two of our gatekeepers or up and coming fighters. We've had two of our champions actually just basically tell the truth. I don't want it with that man right now. I don't want it right now. And so, Truth and Facts, what do you think about the state of boxing moving forward if these guys start being honest like this? Will we rather them be honest, or do we want them to keep lying and say, oh, it's my promoter? What do you think about this honesty that they're sharing?
I think honesty is always good. It might not be always accepted. It might not always be liked, but at the end of the day, it can be respected and be good. So I don't have a problem with him being honest, because at least he's letting me know. As long as he ain't saying something like, "Well, I don't ever want to fight." He's just saying, "Listen, man, right now, I don't want that fight. Maybe later, maybe 2019, 2020. I'd rather he get criticized or criticize me for not wanting to fight right now, but don't criticize me for being scared." So I like the honesty. I think more fighters need to be that way, because the promoters aren't going to be like that with us. So I have no problem with the honesty. Now, where it goes, the problem with the honesty is casual fans have not been taught the sport of boxing. They've been sold a product.
There you
go. So when fighters are honest, they have a hard time accepting that honesty, and they themselves come up with some type of fishy conspiracy theory themselves, because that's easier for them to do that than accept the honesty. When you are deeply rooted in the sport and you've been following the sport, and you have an understanding for both the business and the boxing side, and you understand the history and the lineage of the sport, then you accept it, because there's a lot of guys like the Black Murderers Row. We can talk about him. Aaron Wade and all of those guys, Hancock and Burley. They didn't fight these guys, but they were honest about not fighting them. Same thing with Sam Langford. We see Rigo going through it. So when you're honest about it, those of us who know this history of the boxing, because we've seen this before, none of the four kings, and Marvin Hagler's my favorite fighter of all time. He did not want to fight Mike McCullum, because Mike McCullum could upset the money that he wanted to get fighting, So I understand it. So when you know the history, that's why I did a video. I said learning boxing history and its lineage and knowledge is important, because that way you can hear their honesty and you can say, you know what, cool, I respect that because this happened before. But when you don't know the history, when you only want to go with one promoter, when you only want to go with one fighter, and I often say this, when a person don't want to accept something about a sport, about something they like, that's how they are in real life. You're like that in real life. Okay, if you make excuses for another grown man, then you make excuses for yourself. So I like that honesty from them, but because the boxing has no longer did the sport by teaching you what you're seeing, they sold you a product. These guys have a hard time accepting, I bought a faulty product. And that's the reason why you have a lot of these fans out here walking around with two left feet.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
But that's
go ahead, Coach.
Man, they used to duck Ernie Shavers like that too, man. Because Ernie Shavers hit you, man. He'll knock the soul out of you, man.
Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor's another one. Aaron Pryor's another one that was getting like that.
George Foreman purposely ducked Jerry Query because he said he was such a fast counterpuncher, and that was his weakness. And he did not want to fight Jerry Query because of that reason right there.
I always say this, and all our MMA heads, this is like this. A lot of things about combat sports, about MMA and boxing, they can actually be tied together because the mentality, the psyche of fighters is actually the same. If you show, I've said this, and I don't know how Coach and my man Truth will feel about this. There's really not a fighter. Maybe it is, but every fighter, the great fighter, there's somebody out there who's a bad style matchup for them and a bad look for them. The matchup is just not particularly what they like you just mentioned about George Foreman and Jerry Queer, to where they would rather avoid that fighter. And I think a lot of times we start saying these people are scared. And to me, you know, the word scared it depends on what side of the fence you want to play the word scared. But a lot of times they are making business decisions. And like you just mentioned, that we see these fighters now, they're more businessmen than raw fighters. And this is, I know we got to get to the MMA, but I do want to end the last, I want to ask Coach this, and I want to ask Truth this. What do you guys think about, I heard you guys talking about Canelo. I heard you guys talking about Oscar. Do you think it's possible, and this is just something I want to pick both of you guys' brain, do you think it's possible? Because, Coach, I know how much you used to be a Canelo fan, my brother. I know how much you used to like Canelo. Do you think it's possible that Canelo Alvarez he's taking a bad rap? Because if you like Canelo, it's almost forced now, especially, let's just be real, especially if you're a brother or something, if you like Canelo Alvarez now, you get a bad rap because it's like you're supporting Oscar in the racist emails. Is it possible to just be a fan of Canelo Alvarez and still support him without Oscar, or the two tied together at the hip now?
Hey, man, Canelo got to detach from the fishnets, man, and that's just how it is. he got to get the fishnets out. See, again, you know, I'm still a fan of him stylistically. You know, like if Canelo was fighting, I would never pay for another Canelo fight. Never. I never ever, since them racist emails came out, I ain't paid for another Canelo fight. I was a diehard. I paid for the fight, you know, hands down. It's even Canelo fans who wouldn't pay for the fight. That's one fight that I would never ever stream as a Canelo fight. And man, but then when the emails came out and Oscar couldn't do anything, and he could, but he just chose not to. And I'm like, God, dog. And I always thought Oscar was ruining, Canelo's, you know, deal anyway. And I actually thought that Canelo probably would have done better by himself, or he probably would have done even better with a different promoter, because, you know, he probably would have got some of the fights because, you know, actually it was Canelo. He wanted to fight GGG. He'd been wanting to fight him, but you had this guy, you know, portraying, you know, wearing, you know, fishnet stocking pantyhose, you know, just running around here talking about, yeah, the fight gonna happen. Sure. Yeah, the fight's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? Yeah, the fight gonna happen in 2017. What you mean? Now, this was back in 2015. Okay. This was in 2015 when he talking about the fight would happen in 2017. So, you know, I was already pissed off then. You know, I said, leave it to this guy. Whenever Oscar De La Hoya is involved, you need to look at the judges. Look, you better go check the bathroom out. It's probably something in the bathroom that's going to help the other fighter win the fight or lose the fight. Because Oscar, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you.
What about the water, Coach? Should they check the water before they drink it too?
It's probably got piss and laced with cocaine in it, man. If it's Oscar De La Hoya, man. Okay. I mean, come on, man. That's just the way that is.
Truth, my brother, Truth. What do you think about that, man? Do you think there's a place to where a person can still support Canelo and not support what Oscar does, or are they tied together?
Oh man, you know, sometimes being having age comes wisdom, and sometimes with that wisdom come a dangerous opening of your mind.
Yeah.
There's an old saying, my grandfather used to say an old saying when we used to ask him, you know, why do you do the way you do and be the way you are? He said, because I don't ever want there to be a check that I wrote that you got to cash.
Wow.
And that's what you got going on right now with Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo. Is it's hard to want to support him because of what his boss has done and the surroundings around him. Now, what I try to do is this. I'm with Coach. I'm not going to never buy another pay-per-view, especially a Canelo one. But I will be honest when I'm breaking down his fights. I will be honest about who I feel to win. I will be honest about what he does. I can at least separate the outside from the inside of the ring. But at the end of the day, until any of those things get straightened out, between the emails, between you wearing the fishnets or whatever, until any of that gets straightened out, you always are going to have people looking at you, asking you a question. I get it. Oscar came and scooped you up when you was 15. He supported you. You trying to stay loyal. You know, you trying to play the good soldier. You know he's dependent on you. You got him where you want him. And I understand all of that. But when you start becoming a man, you hang around other men.
Right.
At the end of the day, as a man, you want to be around other men. So if you got a guy who's not doing man stuff, then you got to separate yourself from that, or understand that you always going to be criticized for that. And that's the thing that I think Canelo is going to have to face. he either's gonna have to do something to stand out so everybody will know, hey, listen, I'm my own man, and I'm, Oscar's just my boss, but I'm my own man, or he's gonna have to continue to get criticized by that. But uh, it gets harder by not just what happens, it gets harder by certain things like Canelo always getting that one favorable judge for Canelo.
One,
It
you're
gets
right,
harder
man.
for him because of stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's what makes it hard.
And see, man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have anything with I don't have an issue, man, because I know what I believe and how I feel. I don't really care about him so much with his preferences, and how he chooses to live his personal life. But when it comes to like the public, man, when it comes to the public and people asking you a direct question, look, man, what about those damn emails? Okay, and the emails, they're not going away. I don't care how much Oscar try to ignore them. I don't care how much B Hump with that milk dud peanut head of his that got knocked out the ring. I don't care how much they try to throw those emails underwater. Those emails are gonna keep coming back up. They're gonna keep surfacing back up. They're gonna show their little ugly head, and they're gonna breathe for oxygen. And I think that pretty much is the deal that everybody has with Oscar. People, look, how long have we been knowing this man been alcoholic, cocaine, and fishnets? How long? Nobody cared about that. Nobody cared. Look, the guy would put some fights on. I was cool with that. Hey, listen, that's what he do. Okay, if he gay, I could care less. That's his personal life. Okay, I can't judge anybody. I can't judge anybody. I ain't finna judge because my past is very suspect. I ain't done nothing gay, but I'm saying I've done a lot of bad things. So, who am I to judge him? But okay, when we start with these emails, and he could have just said, hey, guess what? I don't accept those emails because it's not the Golden Boy way. If he'd have said that, I was good. I was good.
He need to say something though. I think he needed. And the way I look at the emails, I tend to look at those email in that email situation. I hadn't had a chance to chime in with that yet. Excuse me. That reminds me so much of if you are a guy. Let's say, fellas out there, ladies out there, whoever listens, you've been through something like this in your relationship. Let's say you're in that little player phase. You got somebody, but you got somebody else too, and your girl like catches some text messages on your phone or something, and you just try to get the phone and get away from them, even if it doesn't come up right there. If you never address it, it's never going to go away because you won't address it. You won't apologize. It can be 2 years down the road. You can be chilling in the car with her. You can be like, "What's wrong, babe?" She has a funny look on her face. You're like, "What's the matter?" She's still hurt over those over those texts because you never addressed it. And I think that's what's going to happen with Oscar here. Oscar, to me, that he didn't even have to go, like you just said, Coach, like I heard Truth say, he didn't even have to go to level 10 with that and say, I denounce everything that is racist in America. I hate this person. I hate that. He didn't even have to do that. He could have simply said, either through a statement or he could have come out in a press conference and said, Golden Boy and Golden Boy Promotions does not support the language and the racial slurs that were used in the email. We do not support that. We don't stand for that. That is not something that we teach here. That is not the Golden Boy way. And I'm done talking about it. And if anybody else asked him about it, he could have said, we've already addressed it. They could have let B Hop read the statement. Since B Hop's a brother, B Hop could have read the statement. B Hop could have come up and read the statement. And then at least they would have addressed it. At least they would have addressed it. But like I heard Truth, you said something that was so deep, man. It was actually pretty powerful when you said, eventually it's going to come back around to where you can't just say, and you can't even just do that if you're saying, like, if I'm going to be a promoter, if I was a boxing promoter, I would never say I'm just going to target one ethnic group. I wouldn't say I'm just going to get a black fighter and just target all black people. No, I would want my fighter. If I had Earl Spence, I would want the Latino community, the black community, the white community, the biracial community. I would want everybody to embrace my fighter, because to build a star in today's world, since the world is so cross-pollinated, if you will, everybody's crossed up now, you don't need your guy. So if you're just going to say, I'm just going to push Canelo to the Hispanic community, that's a huge community. And I have nothing but respect for Hispanic fighters and Hispanic boxing fans. I think they're great for the sport. They always have been. Nothing but props, warriors. But I still think it is very disrespectful for Oscar De La Hoya to not even acknowledge to his African-American base. And this is what we got to understand, people. We have listeners out here right now who are not black, and they were offended by it. It's not like only black people were offended by that. There are plenty of people who are not black. I'm sure Coach in Truth would say, if you heard somebody say something horribly racist, because I'm getting to know Truth, Coach, I already know you, bro. If you heard somebody say something horribly racist about somebody of a race that wasn't your race, if you're not that kind of person, if that's not your heart, it's gonna offend you to a certain point. You're gonna be like, man, that's whack. So I think Oscar would do his whole team better if he would just speak up and at least just say something about it, man. I think I just think he could have said a simple statement and just left it alone. But if he tries to ignore it, it's never, ever, ever gonna go away. That's how I feel about it.
Your whole comment reminded me of something that my grandfather and grandmom used to say, and you can always tell how a person is by what they say. My grandmama used to say, "Blood is thicker than water, money is thicker than blood, but morals and character is the food that feeds your spirit.
There you
And if
go.
your spirit ain't right, your life ain't right." And that's what we're getting to in boxing right now. Is everything can be overpassed because of money, or everything can be quickly forgiven because of this and because of that. And that's not what boxing has ever been about to me.
Yeah, that's real talk.
Well, okay, y'all. So this is what we're gonna do now, man. I got my boy Eric in here, got my boy Lavelle Williams. He been patiently waiting. We're gonna talk about the whole Cris Cyborg and Holly Holm. I don't even want to call that a debauchery. I call that a work of art. Cause they're going in on each other. So yes, we'll get it. Hey, Lavelle, homie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey man, what's going on, guys? Guys, we got Lavelle Williams on the line, man. Lavelle, good dude, man. A college student, man, does a lot for the youth in his area, man. Good dude, man. Definitely enjoy when he's on because we have a lot of good, interesting conversations. And hey, man. So Eric, you want to go ahead and get us cracking, man?
Coach, I gotta say this for Lavelle, and I gotta know is truth. Are you gonna stick around for this, brother? I know you said you had some stuff to do. I don't want you to feel like you locked in. Or are you gonna stick around for the WMMA chat too?
Heck yeah.
Oh yes, of course,
Oh,
of
great,
course.
great. I'm so glad I got everybody in here. Okay, Lavelle, I need to ask you this, my brother. Now, are you down with, because what I want to do, I'm not trying to be an instigator. Well, maybe I am trying to be a little bit of instigator, but it's
Yeah.
for our listeners. But I would like to see you and Coach go ahead and let's get this discussion on about Holly and Cyborg. Are you down for that tonight, Lavelle? What you got, bro?
Hey, I've been telling them to call me all week.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. So
Let's get at it.
So let's just do it like this in truth. And my man, truth, too, I want to do this. The first thing I want to do, because I think if you guys if you've just joined our podcast, if you've never listened to any of our podcasts previously, Lavelle, I don't know if you are actually picking Holly over Cris Cyborg. Is that
I'm picking Holly.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I was hoping you would say that. I was hoping that. Yes, I love it. So Lavelle is picking Holly. That's what I love about Lavelle. Did you hear that? I'm picking Holly. I love it. He'll go on out there on the limb. And my man Coach is saying basically Holly doesn't have a chance. So what we want to do is we want to start it off. We want to get into it, Coach. Truth, I want you to get into it too. Coach, or no, let's get Lavelle to start because Lavelle's been waiting patiently. Lavelle,
No.
You want Coach to start? Okay. Coach, go
ahead.
Give me a brief synopsis of the fight and just tell me basically on your opening statements why you think Cyborg will destroy Holly. Talk to him, Coach. I love it. I've been waiting on this. I love it, y'all. I love it.
Oh boy, I've been waiting on this one. Wait, let me tell you, man. First of all, we're looking at a different version of Cris Cyborg. Okay, this version of Cris Cyborg is more tactical. This version of Cris Cyborg is very methodical. Okay, and Cris Cyborg can choose to do what she wants in the octagon. Okay, she can choose what she wants to do in that octagon. She controls that octagon from start to finish. Okay, listen, Cris Cyborg is going to come in. Holly Holm, when she get that first right hand. Okay, like I told you, Holly Holm, she going to go to the corner. She going to look at Mike Winklejohn. And she going to say, "Bastard, you never believed in me in the first place." And then she going to look to the side. And she going to see that bald-headed, egghead dude named Dana White. And she gonna look over there and say, "You knew that this would happen to me in the first place." I'm gonna start there. I got more.
Okay, that's his opening. That's his opening one. Lavelle, my man Lavelle, go ahead and respond. Tell us why you think your quick opening statements on what you think are the reasons Holly's gonna win.
First and foremost, I just want everybody to remember UFC 193. They said the same thing about her. She's going to go in here. She's going to look at Dana Dana, why did you put me here? And Ronda, what she do? She knocked Ronda's ass out.
Mm. And
Clean
this is
out.
coming from a Ronda fan, y'all. This is coming from a Ronda fan, so you know he's
Number
keeping it
one
real.
Ronda fan. Like I said, everyone has this thing of thinking that an individual is unbeatable. Anybody is beatable any day. Steroid use or not.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Listen.
Uh-oh.
Listen. Look. Body bag coming. Listen, man. Cris Cyborg, it's not Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey has no special effects. She's back and forth, okay? Why do you think Holly was able to outbox her? Now, let's talk about what Cris Cyborg does, okay? See, Cris Cyborg is not going to go back and forth. Cris Cyborg, she's going to use that lateral movement, and she's going to take away Holly's jab. You know why she's going to do it? Because she's going to come at Holly at an angle. The head kick, she can try the head kick. She done took many head kicks. Matter of fact, she took them from Jarena JoJo Bars. That's one of the best head kickers in the game. Okay, Cris Cyborg ate them, got back up, pressed the action, won 2 rounds against Jarena JoJo Bars. Okay, might I add, undefeated Muay Thai champion Cris Cyborg won 2 rounds against Jarena JoJo Bars. Now let's take it to the octagon. What is Holly gonna be able to do? What is she gonna be able to do when Cyborg take away her stand up? What is she gonna be able to do? Is she gonna use her ground game? Oh, nope. She can't use that. That's not there.
Okay, Lavelle, you have anything about what he just said right there?
Of course. Why would you ask me that? And you're right. You're right. She isn't Ronda. Ronda is a clean athlete. You're absolutely right.
Oh, we went there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going all the way there with Cris. Because that's all she seems to. Let me tell you something about Cris Cyborg. Yes, it would be her best bet to try to take Holly down. Why? After years of steroid use, her strength is it. She has a strength advantage. Well, so she should. Secondly, Cris is not stupid. She doesn't want to go head to head with anybody like Holly or Jermaine. Because her stand-up, it just doesn't match up. Is she stronger? Of course she's stronger. She's a natural 145. But if you think that Cris Cyborg is going to just dominate Holly Holm and she couldn't dominate Tanya Everter, you got to be kidding me.
Now there is now truth. Now, my man, Truth and Facts. Do you want to jump in here anywhere with this?
Yeah, these guys are throwing big right hands. I'm only gonna be able to throw some jabs here.
They came right out with the bombs. They
you know what I'm saying. This was Hagler Hearns right here. They came out the gate.
Yes, sir. It's lit.
Same Holly Holm got beat by Misha Tate, man.
Hold on.
The same Cris Cyborg who got beat by Erica Panay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Truth.
Listen.
Go ahead, Truth. Go ahead.
Erica Page.
I think the number one thing we're going to have to take into account here with any combat sport is the mental aspect. Yes. Holly Holmes knows what it's like mentally to take a whooping and come right back. She got beat real bad one time in a fight, fought the chick the next time.
And actually beat the chick.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
And beat. But Cris Cyborg is an extremely confident fight. Nothing shakes this woman's confident. When she feels she can kick your ass, you have to literally almost shoot her to make her believe that she can't kick your ass. Woo. So it's a very
that way. Steroids are making you feel that way.
We're gonna get to that, Lavelle, that's coming, bro. I promise that's coming. We have to get to that.
So wait but it's the interesting contrast of style, because you have one person that is mentally tough and then you have one person that just extremely confident, believe that can't nobody beat her. So I like it, but I will have to say this, both of you guys got good points, is this. Cris Cyborg best interest is to get this on the ground. Because she cannot stand up and strike with it. Now she has been sparring with people like Clarissa Shields, but Clarissa Shields still does not fight the same way that Holly Holm does.
Look. This is the same Holly Holm that got counterpunched to death by Betch Correa. Okay, look, this ain't a 2.0 version of Betch Correa. This is a 15,000 version of Betch Correa. This is the same Holly Holm. Nope. Right. Hey, Jack. She been clean for over 6 years. See, we can't use that no more. We can't use that. We can't. And how do we know? How do we know? The strength factor. Well, but you just said she wasn't as strong. You just said she wasn't as strong. Now, which one is it?
To me.
How you gonna explain this?
I'm going to explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
She may not be as strong as she was the first month that she used them. But however, when you use steroids and then you train over the years, over a course of time, it makes you stronger. Period. Point blank. That's why none of the girls really wants to fight her because they know she has a strength advantage. Okay, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go ahead and knock steroids out of it. The
Go
fact
for
of the matter is, she will not stand with Holly. She will not, and you know that like I know that.
This is not
And
Beth Correa.
No, Valentina counterpunched Holly to death.
Beth Correa did too.
Beth did all right, but at the end of the day, Beth got knocked out, coach.
Yeah, Beth was being stupid at the end of the fight. Got killed. That fight was close. Okay, look, think about this. She took Beth Correa. She took Beth Correa. Hold on. I'm trying to establish a point. She took Beth Correa to the third round. Beth Correa. This somebody she was supposed to knock out. Man, she being all safe. She taking back steps. She throwing one jab at a time. That ain't working with Cris Cyborg. I'm sorry, Cris Cyborg is going to cut off that octagon. Holly Holm is going to suffocate. And then when the octagon is cut off and Holly can no longer move, Cris Cyborg is going to unload. And Holly Holm is going to try to figure out what to do. She's going to try to figure out how to slip a punch. It's going to be too late. Cyborg closes distance. She uses those angles. And Holly Holm, if she couldn't, look, Valentina took away all of Holly Holm's attributes. What is Cris Cyborg going to do? I mean, what do you think she's really going to do?
Let's do this, coach.
What you fail to understand is this is a completely different fight, a new fight, a different Holly Holm mentally. After getting beat 3 times, she fought Betch. She got her confidence back. She knocked her out.
Let's do this.
Barely knocked out.
The thing that make Holly Holm great is when Holly loses, she always goes and put that work in the gym and gets better and better.
She been working a lot because she been taking some ass whooping. So she been doing a lot of work.
You're absolutely right. But look who beat her. The best of the best beat her. She wasn't fighting scrubs like Cris fights.
Let's do this. Let's do this because we want to give our listeners, because I'm sure it's so
ain't nobody fighting her. Don't nobody want to fight her. That's the problem.
Okay, because no one wants to fight her doesn't mean that they're not scrubs.
I got it. Check this out. Let's do this. Let's do this because I want to get you guys to keep going. Truth, I'm just going to throw a jab out here too. Me and Truth, we just throwing jab. But let me ask this because this is key. And I want our listeners to keep throwing their questions in. You guys are doing a great job over there. Let's talk about, and let's get some specific quality breakdowns here. Let's talk about something all 3 of you have mentioned, the mental game of Holly Holm. Lavelle seems to be talking about, and there's a big school of thought out there. Holly has proven this to us. She can take a really bad beating and come back even stronger. That's on Holly's resume. We can't take that away from her. But like Truth said, she's up against this force now that you almost think you need a Glock to stop in the cage. So let's talk about this. And I want to ask all 3 of you this, and I want all 3 of you to chime in. Where do you really think Holly is right now mentally? Because the Betch Correa fight, there are some people that think she's really not back mentally. Coach, where do you think she is? Then Lavelle, then Truth. Where do we feel like Holly is mentally right now leading into this fight? Go ahead, Coach.
She not back mentally. Look, man, she fought Betch Correa because if she was back mentally, then she would have been back when after Miesha Tate choked out and took that belt. Okay, she'd have been back then, but she not. She wasn't back against Valentina. Okay, she wasn't back against Jermaine Durandame. She wasn't back. So now all of a sudden she's in there with Betch Correa, which Betch Correa poses no threat, not really. And I was shocked to see Betch Correa doing so well with these counter punches. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, this Betch Correa. Wait, how is she counterpunching one of the better strikers? Now, I'm not going to say Holly isn't a great striker. She is a phenomenal striker. But see, this point in her career, Holly Holm does not want to push the button. She don't want to attack. Holly Holm wants to be an outfighter. That's not going to work. Stylistically against a Cris Cyborg. That's not. Because Cris Cyborg eats those outfighters alive. Gina Carano tried that crap.
And cracked her.
Gina Carano, Gina did crack her. But then after she cracked her, what did Gina do? Cyborg cracked her back, and Gina, look, when they get hit by Cyborg, they're playing A, B, and C. That go out the window. And the only plan left is to crouch down in a little ball and take that ass whooping. Them plans go out the I'm telling you, look at all the Cyborg fights. When they take that right hand, they crouch. Okay, they sit down, they like, forget it. I can't do nothing with her. Let me just try to survive the round. These girls are going into survival mode. And that's why Gina, her toughest win on her resume, tough fighter. Gina was undefeated. Cris retired her.
She did stop after that. Now, Lavelle, where do you think, my brother Lavelle, where do you see, because you seem to think Holly's back mentally. Tell us where you think Holly is mentally going into this fight.
Okay, as someone who also has a degree, 2 of them actually in psychology.
Double up, double up.
As someone who actually has a couple degrees in psychology, look, Holly is the type of individual. You can tell by her character. Holly is the type of individual. Holly is a very sweet individual. No, she's not going to come out and trash talk or anything like that. But when Holly loses, it eats her up. If you can't see that, then that's a problem. Holly is the type of fighter. If you tell her she can't do something, she's the type of fighter that she's going to show you, I'm going to train, I'm going to work my ass off, and I'm going to do the unthinkable. Mm-hmm. That's the type of fighter she is. And yeah, you can say, yeah, she got beat, but look who beat her. She got beat by the best. She didn't get beat by any scrubs or anything like that. Cris Cyborg is not going to ramshack. No, let me go back. I think Coach said she's going to knock Holly out. Holly's going to sleep. It'll never happen.
TKO.
Ooh.
She can't put Tanya Eventure to sleep or Gina Carano.
TKO.
Marlos Kunos. She will never put Holly to sleep.
I said TKO. I actually said TKO.
TKO, sleep, none of that. It won't happen. For the simple fact, if Holly didn't tap when Misha was choking her to sleep, she's not going to tap from no punches from no Cris Cyborg.
Ooh.
Okay. How did she get choked out? Let's talk about how she get. Let's stylistically. How could Holly Holm, who definitely we can all agree that she was winning that fight, how did she get tapped out by Miesha Tate? How did that happen? See, there's a certain weakness that maybe you fail to realize that Holly Holm has. And she's got 3, but we're going to talk about 2, okay? Let's talk about the first one. You know, she struggles against those wrestlers. Yeah, the ones that can move in lateral movement, the ones that can move very well, she struggles against those. You know why she was keeping Miesha Tate at the end of a jab and wouldn't commit to the offense? Holly Holm knew Miesha Tate's strong wrestling background, and because Miesha Tate wasn't back and forth like Ronda Rousey. See, styles make fights. See, just because one person beats another person, that don't mean that the other person gonna beat them. Okay, I don't want to mess up y'all head. Okay, but the thing of it is, Miesha Tate moves much more in many more dimensions and angles than a Ronda Rousey, and Holly Holm figured that out. She's a smart fighter. She knew, wait a minute, I can't do this to Miesha Tate, because if I do that, Miesha Tate is going to catch me, and Miesha Tate is going to take me down. See, Holly Holm, she got exposed against wrestlers. So if you're a wrestler with any kind of movement and you can close distance, you can beat Holly Holm. Second, okay, the second person that will defeat Holly Holm, a strong counterpuncher. Very, very strong. Now, who do you think? These bone-on-bone contact fighters, they're called Muay Thai fighters, okay? She struggles against those big time, okay? She can't do nothing with them because you know why? The Muay Thai fighter, they're very, very patient. They're extremely patient. And they're going to wait for Holly Holm. They capitalize off all of Holly's mistakes. Now, Cris Cyborg, she fought one of the best Muay Thai kickboxers in the game. Got a ton of experience from that. Cris Cyborg now understands. Why do you think now that she's able to pick her opponents apart instead of just going forward and just tearing them up? This is a much evolutionized Cris Cyborg. She's got the Muay Thai mindset to deal with a person who can strike like Holly Holm. I'm telling you now, it's going to be easy work unless she decide to carry the girl for multiple rounds.
So wait, hold on now. So my man.
Let me respond to that. Eric.
Okay, go ahead. Get that in. Go ahead.
Okay, you said Holly struggles against wrestlers. Okay, that's true, which Cris Cyborg is not.
What? She got a BJJ. She a black belt in BJJ.
I'm not talking about BJJ. I'm talking about wrestling.
Coach, let him
okay,
finish.
I'm sorry, Lavelle.
It's all good. Go ahead, Lavelle. Get it out, brother. Go for it.
I'm sorry.
Secondly, okay, you pointed out 2 areas where Holly struggled. I'm gonna give you 2 areas where Cris struggles.
Okay.
Cris also struggles with a counter puncher, as you can see, as Gina cracked her. Cris has a chin that is knockable. Cris can get hit and feel it too. Now, let's not just think that Cris can just walk through anybody, because she can't. Because Gina cracked her and she backed her ass up real quick. Secondly, Cris struggles with people who are good on the ground or people who are good with submissions. So let's just say we don't know Holly's ground game really, because we haven't seen it. But to say that she doesn't have any ground game, when you're going into a fight with someone like Cris Cyborg, you start practicing things you have never practiced before. Why? Because you want to be prepared for anything and everything. So I don't think that Holly is going to go into this fight just thinking to stand up with Cris. I think she's going to be trained and well taught, and she's going to be, if she's smart, I would hope that she's smart to know if I go in here with Cris Cyborg, I got to cross all my T's and dot all my I's.
I
Okay.
like that. I like that. Now, Coach,
I'm
let me
agree.
bring my man Truth. Let me bring my
Okay.
man Truth in because he's here. So, Truth, either I was gonna ask you about the mental game, but what you heard with that too, just jump in right now and tell us what you're thinking as you hear this going, whichever way you want to go with it. Give us something.
Okay, as far as the mental aspect, here's the one daunting fact that happens for any fighter of any combat sport. You go on a bunch of string of wins like Holly Holmes did, and you win the fight of your life. Then you lose because you made a mental mistake. When she lost to Misha Tate, she made a mental mistake. The difference
Yep.
between Holly and Ronda was I'm sorry, between Tate and Ronda was Tate was able to capitalize on it. She wasn't surprised by what Holly Holmes was doing to the point where it overwhelmed her. So when that moment came, she couldn't capitalize on it.
Absolutely.
Ronda Rousey wasn't able to capitalize on it when they made a mistake because she was still overcame by what was happening to her. So Misha
Sure.
Tate capitalized on a mistake she made. So Holly Holmes felt like, okay, I made a mental mistake. So she goes again in her next fight. She fights Valentina, and she fights I can't pronounce the name, Rodamia, and those were women that won by unanimous decision only because they was able to out not so much as counterpunch Holly Holmes, but outmaneuver her as well. Holly Holmes has a very bad habit of when she goes side to side, she'll go side to side 3 times to the right, side to side 3 times to the left. They was waiting on her to make those moves, and they was capitalizing on that, which would make her reset. If you can make Holly Holmes reset, she takes too long to reset. You can capitalize on that. So they was able to beat her like that. And again, in her mental mind, she just feels like, okay, I didn't get the decision because I didn't do right. Now, Beth Correa was perfect for her. Beth Correa was not a fast counterpuncher. Beth Correa was not a takedown wrestler. So Beth Correa was the perfect person for her to fight because she didn't have any things to weaken that could affect Holly Holmes. Right now,
Yeah.
this is where it gets dicey with Cris Cyborg. Cris Cyborg, fight by fight, gets and stronger and stronger. Even if there's a situation like when she fought Tanya Evinger, even if there's a situation where it looks like, okay, this person is having a moment. What Cris Cyborg does very well is she don't let you have too much of a moment. You might have 10 seconds of a moment, but she gonna have the remaining 4 minutes and whatever, 4 minutes and what odd seconds. She's not gonna allow you to have more moments than her. And then what Cris Cyborg also does is she waits for you to make that one fatal mistake. She is, in my opinion, she's faster as far as being able to hit you with the knee strikes or the leg strikes. And she's also faster at closing that gap. Like you might think you had a safe distance, and she closed that gap so fast
Yes, sir.
that when you realize it, she's right on top of you
Mhm.
and she got you. So for me, now I'm not gonna say easy work like my man coach is saying, but I'll put it to you like this. Holly Holmes is going to have to give us a Ronda Rousey like performance, which I think somebody said earlier, a perfect performance. The problem is at this phase of her life, can it, from not just mentally, physically, because of the beatings that she has taken, can she do that against someone who's willing to make a mistake and is strong enough and fast enough to capitalize on you? That's where my concern is. And also, where Holly Holmes' biggest chance is if Cris Cyborg gets overzealous and she makes a crucial mistake.
Mhm.
And that's what Holly Holmes can capitalize on there. But I think Cris Cyborg is more experienced in the aspect of these type of moments of waiting it out than Holly Holmes is.
Now that's great stuff. That's real great stuff. And I want to give Lavelle a chance to jump in here because the reason I think it's great to have Lavelle here is because he's kind of going against the grain. Most people are just saying, Cyborg, Cyborg, Cyborg. He's doing his thing and he's putting it
Yes.
down for Holly.
That's
So
my
I
dude.
want, yeah, that's right. And
That's my
I
dude.
want to give this a chance. I want to bring this up because Truth, you just dropped some great stuff right there. And I want Coach Lavelle. We're gonna start this with Lavelle. If you think about it, man, Truth just touched on this also. The overwhelming thing that most educated, when you listen to educated people talk about this fight, they're talking about basically the mental pressure of fighting Cyborg. Like, even though she, it took her a little while with Tanya, but if you watch that Tanya fight, you could see Tanya, and I love Tanya, but I felt like I saw a change in Tanya's whole persona when she caught that first punch from Cyborg. So, Lavelle, how do you think? Because most people are just doubting that Holly can hold up under the mental pressure, not just her chin, but just the mental pressure, closing the distance? How do you think Holly is going to combat Cyborg's mental and physical pressure? What is she going to do to like keep Cyborg off of her?
To be honest, Holly has already started to combat Chris's mental pressures because for some odd reason, Cris Cyborg, she seems to think that someone owes her something. No one owes you anything. No one owes her anything. Like, my problem with Cris is this, and if anybody who knows me, they know I will always go with the underdog. That's how I've been my whole life.
Yeah.
Especially when I see everybody gravitating towards the right, I'm gonna definitely go to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing. Cris Cyborg tries to get into fighters' head mentally. She she's out there like talking this, saying that about Holly. And if you've been paying attention to Holly, she said, "Oh, I'm just going to keep training." She can continue to complain. She can continue to nag. She can continue to be bitter. And I'm going to keep training because for the simple fact, I know what's ahead of me. I know what I need to do in order to beat her. If Tanya, let's just be honest. Tanya Everett took that fight, 3 weeks in advance?
Was it 3 weeks, Coach? It was short. I know it was short, though. Do you know what it was, Coach?
Yeah,
3
it
weeks.
was. It was
3 weeks.
It was a short notice fight, but because
yes, it was 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm good at things like that.
Okay, we got you. It's 3 weeks.
Else could fight her.
So she took the fight 3 weeks in advance. If you look at her, first of all, she wasn't in shape. Second of all, you know why she did it. She did it for the money. And if you're fighting for the money, you done already lost.
Okay.
Period. Point blank. If you're fighting for money, you have already lost. Holly Holm, if you know anything about Holly, Holly isn't fighting for the money. Holly is fighting because it's something that she enjoys to do, and Holly does not like to lose. So the fact that Holly has lost in the past, and the fact that she's up against what you could measure a David and a Goliath situation, if you don't think that you're going to see the best version of Holly Holm, you are kidding yourself.
Okay.
So,
go ahead, Coach.
Holly don't do it for the money. Well, let's sit back and let's talk about some of these
This
purses
fight
that Holly
doing for the money, and you know why she doing it for the money.
She made
She's a steroid user.
She made $500,000 against Miesha Tate. Now,
Coach,
how you gonna explain that?
Coach, don't try to get me to answer for Holly.
I'm just trying to say. I'm just trying, but you said she didn't do it for the money. $500,000. That's a lot of money. But that's a lot of money. $500,000 is a lot of money to fight Miesha Tate. How we gonna explain that? If she don't do it for the money,
she's a champion.
Wait, hold up. So now, hold up. So now Holly finna get another $500,000 because Holly said, listen, because she don't do it for the money, but she said that, listen, if the price is right, I will fight Cris Cyborg, but she don't do it for the money. How are we going to explain this?
Because you know why. Don't sit there and act like you don't know why she's asking for that type of money. Let's be real. She's asking for that type of money, first of all, because under her contract, she's a bantamweight. Let's keep it real. They wanted her to go up. Cris is
Wait a minute. Holly fought at 153 pounds. I'm sorry.
She is a bantamweight, technically. Yes, they used her and Jermaine to open up the category, the women's featherweight category. Yes, they have. Yet, can she fight at 145? Of course she can. But as she said, her own words, I'm not going to keep floating up and down. That's the first argument. Secondly, I don't care who you are. To fight someone who is a known cheater, you're going to pay me. Period.
Okay, well, we got these known cheaters everywhere, don't we? We got Ashley Evans Smith.
We're talking about Cris Cyborg.
We got Ashley Evans Smith. We got Jessica Penney. All these known cheaters. But let's go ahead and keep it going. Let's keep it going. Okay, so again, now we sitting back and we talking about we talked about the money, and now we're bringing it back to the steroids, and now we're talking about the weight. Now, Lavelle, how you gonna explain Holly Holm fighting at 153 pounds when she was a boxer? I mean, so really, Holly's.
Yeah, I debunked that easily. She was a boxer.
No, exactly. So the weight class. Hold on.
Go ahead, Coach. Finish your thought, Coach, and then Lavelle respond to it. Finish your thought, Coach, and then Lavelle go for it. Go ahead, Coach.
Holly Holm is a big girl. She walks around 135. She's nowhere close to her walking around weight. This girl got to get in the sauna to make the weight and weight cuts herself. Okay, trust me, she was comfortable when she was a boxer. Okay, and why would she take the fight at 145 against Jermaine Durant? Why would she do that? Why? Because you know she can make the weight comfortably. And that's what fighters do. See, but they thought that Cris Cyborg wasn't going to be there. So she took that fight. Her and Jermaine did. And they fought this fight thinking, okay, well, we're going to have this division all to ourselves. I don't have to go back down to 135. And because my name's Holly Holm and I look like what the fans want, they're going to make that division around me. They're going to put all these fighters in there. They're going to bring this young, hungry champion called Megan Anderson. And that division is going to blow up. But Cyborg blew up everything. She blew it up. She blew it up, boy. She blew it up out of the water. I dropped my microphone on this one, boy. She blew it down. She blew it up out the water, y'all. And now she got them running scared. They don't want no parts of her, okay? They got to pay Holly $500,000 to $1 million to get in the ring because they know Mike Winkeljohn know that crap he was talking. Holly can pick Cris Cyborg apart. No, she can't. Look, Mike Winkeljohn know the ass whooping is coming. He want his 10%. That's just the way that is.
Okay, coach. Lavelle. Go ahead, Lavelle. Go ahead.
Keep saying that fighters are scared of her. Like, I don't understand. How can a fighter who said, I'll fight her, I'm waiting on a contract, be scared of her? It doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, are you saying that Holly Holm is scared of Cris Cyborg and she said, I'm waiting on my contract?
See, I never said Holly was afraid.
You just said that.
I said that Mike Winkeljohn. I said Mike Winkeljohn doing the talking.
Those exact words, but you just said out of your mouth that she a $500,000 to $1 million. So what you're insinuating,
but I didn't say she was
scared. Video is that she's scared to fight her if the money isn't right. That's
okay.
Holly said if the money is right. She said if the money right.
Coach, let's just ask straightforward. Coach, do you think Holly Holm is scared of Cris Cyborg? Let's just ask you since we're here.
I'm gonna be honest. As a fighter, I think Holly will take the fight because she's a fighter. Okay, I don't even think it's Holly Holm per se. I don't think it's Holly saying I don't want to fight. I think it's Winkeljohn, and I done said this and said this and said this. Her own coach don't think she can win. Now listen, now you got your own coach sitting back who don't want you to take this fight, giving you all kind of excuses. Hey, let's fight at 136. Oh, no. Let's fight at 138 pounds. Knowing the girl can't get below 140. Barely made 140, damn, they killed herself, okay? So they know these things. They know these things. They knew it. They didn't want the fight back then. Why you think they want the fight right now? They don't want to fight. They don't want to fight Cris Cyborg because Team Holm, I ain't say Holly, but Team Holm, because she got a team, they think that she ain't gonna come out of this thing good. But I'm just saying, I've always said if Holly Holm can go 5 rounds with Cris Cyborg and last, she really do win if she can go 5 rounds, even after a butt whipping like she gonna get. That's just how it is.
Eric.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
This is where, like, you know, I love Coach, you know, I respect him, but this is where we differ at. For some odd reason, Cris Cyborg and people like Coach seem to think that someone owes her something. No one owes her anything. If she can't make the weight to 135, does that mean that every woman in the UFC has to jump up to fight her?
That's a good question. And Coach,
why do you feel like? Why is it that you people feel like people have to cater to a known cheater? No one has to cater to her. Of course, no one wants to fight her because she has a checkered past. What part of that are you people not understanding?
Coach, let's answer this question, Coach, and in truth, you can answer this one too. Let's answer this question because I think that's a very legit question. I'll ask you the question in this way. What is it to where there is a certain group of people out here who do feel like Cyborg? I've heard Lavelle is not the only person I've heard. I've made videos and people have come into my comment section and said, why does Cyborg feel like everybody owes her something? So let's go ahead and bring that out. Let's talk about that. Coach, do you feel like Cyborg feels like people owe her something? And let's answer Lavelle's question he just asked. If she can't make 135, why do we all feel like all of the ladies have to move up to fight Cyborg at her weight? Go ahead and answer that one.
Well, let's just answer this. Okay, this is easy. This is too easy. Of course, Cris don't think people owe us something. You know, now how would you feel if you spend your whole life, okay, you watching everybody around you, okay, that don't look like you get these paydays. Okay, and you know for a fact that this fight against Holly Holm, Dana White, they coming at Cris Cyborg with some $100,000, $150,000, and you know Holly Holm finna get what, over with $500,000 or more than that. Now you know that this fight's a big fight. You know they're gonna make money. Okay, so Cris is like, okay, listen, I want to get paid too. Everybody else getting paid. Why can't I get paid? Why am I still getting the scraps left over? See, now as a fighter, and you dedicate your whole life to the sport, and you have people too, and you know, you can say she does have a checkered past. But you know, again, they don't say that about these other fighters with checkered past. It's
Oh
like
my
the whole,
God.
it's like the whole Winklejohn camp. We can talk about that all day. But see, it's almost like Winklejohn saying, "Hey, well, you know, I want John Jones to fight Brock Lesnar, right? Okay, but Brock Lesnar is a known cheat. So I mean, I don't know. See, how we gonna explain that one? My thing is this, okay? Cris, I don't think she feel like she's old. She's talking about what she deserves. And Cris Cyborg, she's not gonna sit back and kiss Dana White's butt because she want to keep her UFC contract. She coming out and telling it like it is. Look, why does Holly have to make, you know, why does she have to get the lion's share? I don't care if Holly makes more, but you know, to offer her less than what she made against Evanger. I mean, are you serious? When this
Coach,
fight is gonna probably blow pay-per-view records, why she can't make no money?
Coach, we're not talking about that. You didn't even answer the question.
I did.
No, you didn't, because we're not talking about that. We asked why.
Okay, what's the question?
We asked why does this lady feel like everyone owes her? Why do the women have to come up to fight her? That's the question that we're talking about.
Well,
We're
you got all these.
no, let me finish real quick.
Go ahead. You got all
We're
these
not
blown
talking
up
about the
bantamweights.
money aspect, because as far as the money goes,
Mm.
of course Cris is owed her just due when it comes to money. Of course, no one who wants to go in there and make less than you made for fighting a Tanya Evans. No one. We're not being like that stupid and that just insane. This is what I'm saying. Cris, however you cut it, I don't care what people might want to say. Yeah, you might consider her the best, the greatest, or whatever. However, Cris doesn't have that marquee name that she feels she should have. And that's where the problem comes in with Cris. And I was reading something she put out the other day where she said something like she feels like, you know, she doesn't get the respect she needs. So Cris has a chip on her shoulder and she feels like someone owes her something. We're not talking about just money, Coach. We're talking about overall how she feels like she should be treated like a certain way. And it's just like, Cris, get the hell out of here.
I think she should be respected. I mean, telling the girl she need to cut off her penis. Is that respect? No, that's not.
Those are fans, Coach.
No, that was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said this. Okay, so I guess he's an erratic fan, but I don't think that she believes that she thinks that everybody got to come up. But you got a lot of blown up bantamweights.
Yes,
okay, let's look at all these blown up bantamweights. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you, I already know because I've already heard from different sources, different legit sources too, that these are blown up bantamweights. Let's take the first one. Holly Holm, blown up bantamweight. Are you serious? Jermaine Durandame, blown up bantamweight. How we gonna explain this? Liz Carmouche, blown up bantamweight. Have you seen how big Liz Carmouche is?
Now she's fighting 125. Yeah.
Okay, blown up. That girl gonna kill herself. Hey, that girl gonna turn into a tube of sticks to make that bantamweight. Blown up bantamweight.
Regardless
blown up.
If you think they're blown up or not, their contract is for 120, 135.
Doesn't matter.
Of what
they're
they
blown
walk
up.
around at, regardless of what they walk around at, because if that's the case, technically Cris should be fighting people like Gabby Garcia. Because she walks around at 190, 200 pounds.
She spar her and beat the crap out of her next.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. What does Cris walk around at? So what you're saying is she's a blown up featherweight.
Yeah, absolutely. She walks around at 170.
She walks around at 190.
No, about 170, 175.
No, coach. There's a video where you said she walks around at 190.
I said she's gotten up. I said she's gotten up as high as 190.
Okay,
but on average, if 175.
If she can get as high as 190, and then on fight day get to 145, you know Cris is going up 20 to 25 pounds. Period. That's why we was talking about there should be a 10-pound limit a few weeks
She came in at 160 against Evanger. I don't even know what you're talking about. Fact. That's a fact. She came in at 160.
No. I'm so glad you said it because I got a video that you have a video that you made where you said she came in a fight 165 and Tanya came in 155. Coach, you know I studied this and I
Okay. No.
Come on now, you're not talking.
And between the weight limits, between the weight limits, 160, 165, she comes in at about that weight for every fight. Okay. See, I talk about averages. I'm talking about the average.
Okay, so she's still coming in 10, 15 pounds more than her bantamweight opponent.
So, coach, now this is what we got to ask. Well, first, let me ask Truth this. Let me ask my man Truth this. Truth, as you listen to this and we talk about we're gonna backtrack just a little bit because I want to get your thought on this. What is your perspective on Cyborg? Do you feel like she kind of acts like she's entitled or she's owed to something? Is that the perspective you have on Cyborg? What do you think about that?
I think that's something that all fighters, when they're hungry and they want something, I think that's something that all fighters, regardless of whatever sport you're in, they feel that way. Cyborg feels this way because number one, she wanted Ronda Rousey, but they wanted her to jump through many hoops for that. And the only reason why she came over here was for that fight, and it never happened. She feels like, I don't think so much as fans, but she feels like Dana White owe her something because now that Ronda Rousey is going, you got to get behind somebody, and she thinks she's that woman. Well, she should think that. I mean, if you're a fighter, you should think that. If you're a hungry fighter trying to make your mark and you believe in yourself, you should think that. And I also think that she feels that people owe her something because she's trying to get rid of a stigma that's attached to her when it comes to these steroids. So she's trying to get rid of that. So she feels like, people owe me at least the third or whatever chance to get rid of that. So to a certain degree, um, I understand it, but at the same time, I think Cyborg has to be realistic about the things that surround her, the and also where her standing is in the food chain when it comes to money, when it comes to a priority, when it comes to just what's going on with the UFC. Period. I think she's gonna have to understand her place in the food chain, and a lot of times people might feel like they earn something, but you might have earned it like you might have earned it over here in Bellator or mixed martial arts, but you haven't earned it here in UFC. And I think that's the thing with her is, and somebody mentioned it, she hasn't had that one big name. It's eluded her, and she feels like, man, I'm owed that big name, and if I'm gonna get that big name, you got to pay me for it to get that big name. So she's gonna have to recognize where her place is on that food chain, and just the things that surround her. She's gonna have to recognize that before she can go forward and actually start making these demands. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
See, but what she said, she did say, why pay me less than what I made for the Evanger fight? Because I think
That's true.
I think she knows. Because I even said, well, Holly Holm probably got more of the fan base now. If the fight was in Brazil, Cris Cyborg gonna pack the stadium. I mean, she's
Yeah.
very popular. She's extremely popular in Brazil. They follow Cris Cyborg. They buy pay-per-view. So, if we really look at this, okay, is she marketable? I think she is. I think
No.
they're marketing her incorrectly. Okay, I think they're doing a poor job of marketing the woman incorrectly. Okay, and then her past, I'll agree, her past didn't help, but that's 6 years ago. Time to move on. They got a lot of superstars in the UFC that's got a sketchy past, and they've moved on. They make money with them. Why they can't do it for Cyborg? That's all I'm saying.
I could tell you why. I could tell you why, Coach. Because Cyborg targeted the UFC darling in Ronda Rousey.
Okay, watch it now.
Yep.
Watch it. We go. Watch
Here we
it.
go.
Well,
I'm just saying that's what happened when you target the favorite son. It's not received very well.
man. Well, let's ask Lavelle this. Let me ask Lavelle this as he's sitting there, and I'm sure Lavelle is not even saying this. Lavelle, what did you think? I do want to ask you this. What did you think about the offer that they made to Cyborg, the initial offer when they actually offered her lower than the Tanya Evanger fight? What did you think that was? What did you think about that?
I said it then. I'm gonna say it now. It's wrong.
See,
Period.
yeah, I want.
Period. Point blank. It's wrong. You cannot offer someone. She made $200,000 her last fight. Tanya made $100,000, and that was for the championship. She is the champion now. So to offer someone $200,000, the same amount that she made, unless that is disrespectful and it is outright wrong. But let's be honest now. But for Cris to think that she is more of a household name than Holly is wrong. Is she just wrong? Like the amounts of money that she's asking for, that's where the problem is running. Yes, should she be paid at least 300 grand? Come on, of course. 300 and up. If you made 200 your last fight, now you're the champion, of course. However, Cris wants more than that. And that's why the fight has not been made yet. And to be honest with you guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't think the fight is going to get made. I don't think it's going to get made because not because of the money situation, because Cris has denied the first offer. I don't think and I'm pretty sure that the UFC has addressed has entertained a couple more offers to her that was probably 250, 300,000. But I think for the simple fact that she denied that one, that now the UFC is going to play the little struggle, and you know how the UFC gets when it wants its way. Oh, we're okay. Fuck it. We're not gonna go ahead and excuse me. Fuck it. Well, we're not gonna go ahead and offer. We're not gonna go ahead and offer her anything. We're gonna force her to take the fight, and that's where I want Cris to be smart at. Cris, now if you're gonna play the game, play it right. Don't. That's just like taking a plea deal in court. If you know you're facing 30 years and you're just trying to walk away and you expect not to do anything, you're fooling. What the thing is to get the best deal possible.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach,
and
are
Cris,
you feeling?
That's how she should look at it. She should look at it as trying to get the best deal possible. But Cris, instead of focusing on that, those things that she should be focused on, which is her paper, her bag, her money, which I would be focusing on, she's running around here steady, doing what Cris does best, being a bully. And then when people start bullying her, she wants to go and punch people in the face and act ignorant, act stupid. Let's just keep it real, act stupid. Because Holly isn't even the type for you to get on camera and say, I'm going to kick your ass. Holly ain't even that type of girl. Come on now, Cris.
Well,
so, Coach,
it was a response.
Coach, do you think, because Lavelle just actually said something so juicy right there, I want to jump to that on this question. Do you think the Cyborg is trying to be a bully to Holly Holmes in the negotiation and the type? How do you feel about the bully situation that Lavelle brought up?
Let's address a couple of things. First of all, Cris Cyborg, she said in that video, and the one that I commentate on, by the way, she pointed out in that video that she said, listen, I'm waiting on Holly. I'm waiting on Holly Holm to sign a contract so I can get in there and whip your ass. Cris Cyborg is old school, okay? If you want to talk junk, talk junk. See, this all started with Holly's camp. Mike Winklejohn running their mouth saying, hey, Holly will get in there and pick Cris Cyborg apart. Because Cyborg really wasn't thinking about Holly Holm that much until Mike Winklejohn just went off the handle.
No.
Hold on.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
That's absolutely correct. Because first, Winklejohn, when they asked him about fighting Cris Cyborg, then, okay, he said, well, you know what, we're going to fight somebody, who's clean for at least a year. He said that out of his own mouth, but, he got John Jones over there. But that's not digress, okay? Then he going to come out and say, Holly will just go and pick Cris Cyborg apart. Okay, so what is Cris going to do? Sit back? She going to respond. That's what Brazilians do. They respond. They don't back down from a fight. If you say, hey, I want to beat you down, or I want to fight you, or if you talk jump, Brazilian culture, they're going to get in your face. That's what they do. I know Brazilian culture well. They're going to get in your face. They're going to tell you what they're going to do. And look, we ain't about talking no junk. Look, if you want to fight, let's fight. When I get you in that cage, I'm going to beat your ass. That's what she said. She said the same thing to Megan Anderson. She pulled Megan Hokar. You want to talk that junk? Listen, I'm going to call up on the show, and I'm going to show you what I'm about. Okay, so it wasn't that. Okay, Cris, I don't think she's being bullied. See, she was trying to help kids at a cancer hospital. And, people, they what's her name? Angela Magana. She putting out that video, that picture of her. So I think this is a response to Cris Cyborg, because when has Cris ever just went off the handle just for no reason now? Every time she's went off the handle, it's been against what? Megan Anderson was running her mouth. Okay, what did she do? She responded. Mike Winklejohn, when he responded, because Cris said, why can't Holly ever talk for herself? Why does Mike Winklejohn have to always do the talking for Holly Holm? What does Holly want to do since Mike Winklejohn want to talk so much? How are we going to explain that one?
Okay, Lavelle. Explain it, Lavelle.
This is the thing, Eric. For some odd reason, Coach, anytime we get to talking about Cris Cyborg, and Coach always has this thing where he diverts to who said anything. We're not talking about what Mike said. We're talking about Holly, her bullying Holly. If Cris had a problem with what Mike was saying and Winklejohn, if she could have told them, she'd beat their ass, put them in the ring. This is the thing about Cris.
She's not going to fight a man, Lavelle.
And Coach, you're right. And Coach, this is the thing, and you know this. Come on now. Any woman that Cris Cyborg thinks or feels that they have more limelight than her, she goes at 100%. Period.
Well, she did the same thing to Jarena JoJo Barnes, Lavelle. When Jarena said she can beat up, Cris Cyborg said, come on, let's fight. Coach, come on, stop, man.
Coach, no, you stop. You stop and keep it real. You stop and keep it real, man. You're not being real, Coach. Now,
that's real.
Now, come on, be honest. Mike didn't just come out and say that. At the press conference when Cris won, they asked her next fight, she said Holly. That's how that came up. That didn't come up like Mike just came out the blue and said, "Hey, yeah, Holly will pick her apart." No, he didn't. He didn't do that. They asked Cris who did she want to fight next, and she said she wanted to fight Holly. What is my coach supposed to say? Is she gonna beat me?
That's not what I said. The fact when they asked Mike Winkeljohn, this the events when they asked Mike Winkeljohn about Cris Cyborg, this happened before the events, but he said we're gonna fight somebody clean. That's been clean. See, that event that I said, but that happened before Cris Cyborg said I want to fight Holly Holm. And see, the reason why she did that, that is a response to Mike Winkeljohn, who has constantly, oh, you can go see the videos, they out there. He's always had trash to talk about Cyborg. She need to be clean. She need to be this. She need to be that. But I'm coaching John Jones, and John Jones is as dirty as a damn pig. You know, I mean,
there you go again, coach. You just made my point. There you go again, talking about John Jones.
But what I'm saying, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to establish. Okay, if he can say it about Cyborg, why he ain't never said nothing about John Jones? If the man's so really concerned about people being clean, he got the dirtiest fighter in his camp. This guy popped every time you turn around. Come on, man.
John isn't up for a fight. We're talking about Holly and Cris.
He just had a fight against DC. Knocked out DC on pads.
I'm talking about Holly.
But how was Mike gonna explain that one? We're trying to establish that Mike is biased.
You know that Cris has been attacking Holly left and right since last year. Last year, she said, and this before Holly had even fought for the title or anything. She's been running from me. She's run 2 times already. Like, come on, Cris. Like, you're that desperate.
Jackson Winkeljohn started this whole debacle.
Cris Cyborg even came at Joanna crazy, and Joanna is a straw wick. Stop it, coach.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. But Mike Winkeljohn started this whole debacle. Mike Winkeljohn started this debacle when he started talking about I need to fight somebody clean. And when Cris Cyborg got clean, when she was clean and said, listen, I'm clean. What's up? Now what?
Mike said,
okay, we're going to fight her at 136 pounds. We're going to fight her at 138 pounds. That's what he said.
All Mike said is that he would like her to sit out a year to make sure she's clean. That's it. Cris did the same thing to Joanna. Like, no, I don't consider Joanna the greatest. I'm the greatest. I've been, her accent. I'm 10 years undefeated. Come on, anybody that Cris feel like is above her on the women's side, she gets upset with. And if she could get the 135 or something, or get Joanna up to 145, she would beat up that fight too.
Anybody that talk that junk to Cris Cyborg, there's consequences when you talk
Holly
junk.
Don't talk junk, coach.
Again, there's no initiation. But Holly's team is behind this, okay? And when
what is my team supposed to say? What is our team supposed to say?
But listen, what is she supposed to say? Cris Cyborg said Holly Holm need to speak for herself. What does Holly think? Why is Mike always talking?
What Holly think? You know what Holly think already. Girl, you ain't on my level. Sit down, girl.
Yes, she is. She above her level, and she gonna knock her through.
Okay.
He gonna knock her through the octagon. What's gonna happen?
Okay.
Holly finna get murked. Okay,
hold on.
Everybody know Holly finna get that ass whooped.
Hold on. If you think she's gonna get murked, you're lost.
Hold on. Here we go.
She get murked. Holly's gonna get murked. Everybody know this.
We're going to work back to that. We're going to definitely work back to that. I want to add, this is great. Somebody, please, we got a little more time left here. Go tell somebody. We are getting it in right now. The debate is lit. If you're in here and you hadn't clicked the like button yet, click the like button. Go tell somebody to get in for the end of this. Truth, I want to ask you this, my brother. Listen, in your perspective, because I know as I listen to you and I've, listened to you speak here, I know you have a very old school perspective on the fight game as a whole. Do you view Holly as a bully, or is she just an old school fighter? If somebody's above her, she says, I'll knock you off. How do you view do you view Cyborg as a bully or just an old school type of personality? Did we lose my man? Are you there, Truth?
God, dog, the trolls done ate him up.
Okay, well, they got him. Okay, so until Truth gets back in, we'll keep working around this.
I'm back.
All right, so okay. All right, there he is. Did you hear my question, or do I need to ask you the question again?
No, go ahead and ask it again.
Okay, this is what I wanted to ask to you, Truth. Now, if you heard, I don't know if you heard this part, Lavelle and Coach have been going on about their differences, and Lavelle thinks that Cyborg is a bully. She calls out everybody who has something above her. She calls them out. She says something
Strawweight.
Even strawweights. And Coach thinks that Cyborg
mouth.
Yes, Coach think Cyborg is just basically responding to people and doing her thing. I was saying, I know you have more of an old school when it comes to the fight game. You have that old school knowledge. Do you view Cyborg as a bully, or is she just a person who tells it like it is? What do you think about that?
Woo, man, look. Woo. You know what? I will put it to you like this. I
Go
look at
ahead.
anybody in combat sports like this. If you can have my name in your mouth, I'm coming to get your ass. I
Oh,
don't care. You can weigh 101 pounds.
oh.
If my name come at your mouth in a way that we talking about getting physical, I'm coming to get some of your behind.
But what
So
do you do when that person has not said your name? The person ain't even said. This person said nothing about you. You just coming at them.
No.
well, that listen, that's
He did that.
okay. But you know what though? Here's the reality. Buddy, they don't care who it is. If this person ain't gonna fight me right here, you know what? I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna get somebody in this ring and beat their behind. So if it's somebody, if it's a total mismatch, I can get the outrage. But at the end of the day, the fighter that she's calling out, if they accept the challenge, I don't have no sympathy for you because you knew you was getting into.
Because
Exactly.
it's more than one way to look at that. The other way that could be looked at is also just for people to do it is if you are constantly calling out and speaking about the people ahead of you, are you bullying them or are you just trying to get what they have? And I think Lavelle, I don't know if envious is the right word, Lavelle, but are you saying that you feel Cyborg is just
She's
envious?
she's a very envious and jealous individual who thinks she deserves certain things and a certain amount of respect. And to let's be honest, Cris Cyborg, you are not that kind of superstar that you think you are. You'll never be on Rondas and the Hollies and them level. For you just won't. Are you
Okay,
a
so
better?
Well,
Are
I
you a
got a
better?
question.
Are you a
okay,
better?
I guess that's why they're not gonna fight her, right?
Let me finish, Coach. Are you a better fighter than most of these girls? Hell yes. Let's be honest. But to think that these girls owe you a fight, you have stepped out of bounds. And I know how I am. If I was a woman, I'll fight her just to show everybody I'm gonna knock her out. I'm gonna go ahead and beat her up so I can knock this bandwagon that y'all think is Cris Cyborg. I'm gonna knock her down. She lucky I ain't a female because I'll fight her in a quick.
okay.
Oh,
I
Hey,
think
you
it's
know what? I
No,
got a
I
question
would.
for
We don't gotta
Lavelle.
wait. We wouldn't have to
oh
wait.
no.
Lavelle.
We wouldn't have to
Lavelle.
wait. We wouldn't have to wait to UFC. We wouldn't have to wait.
Lavelle.
We wouldn't have to wait to know UFC or nothing like that. I'll fight her ass in the street. We
Lavelle,
wouldn't
would
have
you
to wait
No.
for
Lavelle,
that.
Lavelle,
Come
here's
on,
the question.
that's hypothetical. Come on now.
Lavelle,
But
here's the
okay,
question.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's
I
my
think
point. That's my
Lavelle,
point.
I
So
think Lavelle was just saying that he would get it on in the Waffle House parking lot. I think that's what he would do.
immediately,
But check this out.
immediately.
Check this out
Just to,
because
just to
but
just to put it out there that no one is scared of you. However, I see where Holly and Rhonda and all them coming from. You need me. I don't need you, Cris.
but let me say this because I know Truth has a question. I want Truth has a question for Lavelle. But I do want the record to show. I do want to point out right here because sometimes I think Lavelle can get a bad rap on this. Lavelle just said that are you better than most of these fighters? If I heard you correctly, Lavelle, he gave Cyborg her props. So I don't want anybody to listen to this and think that Lavelle is actually saying that Cyborg is a garbage fighter because I don't think that's
No,
what
she's a
Lavelle is saying.
monster. She's a
Okay,
monster.
I think it's great to establish that point, Lavelle, because I don't want people to think that you don't respect what Cyborg is. I just wanted to point that out for the listeners. Go ahead, my man. Truth, ask your question to Lavelle, my brother.
I got a question because you said that she feels like somebody owe her something. She has a chip on her shoulder. What fighter don't? What fighter, if they believe in themselves or think that they should be great, or they trying to get to that great spot? What fighter don't feel like that? And why is it a problem if she does feel like that?
It isn't a problem if she feels like she's confident in who she is and her skills and her capability and her worth. That isn't the problem. The problem is when you start to impede that on me to feel like that about you. That's where the problem comes in. At. Just because you think you're something doesn't mean that I have to fight you because you think that you're the creme of the creme. No. And that'll make, to be honest, that would make me turn as a fighter. And she wanted to fight me. That'll make me either do what I just said, tell her to just meet me outside and just get it over with, or that'll either be like, you know what, I'm gonna let. I want to use some other words, and I can't really right now. Ooh, that'll have me wanting to be like, you know what, B, you need me, I don't need you. What's up? I really ain't gonna fight you now, girl. Keep talking, whatever, and I would antagonize her that way. every time, are you gonna fight, Cris? When I get ready, I will antagonize her to the point where I will break her mentally.
Well, okay, all right. And now I want to say this, but
that ain't gonna break Cyborg. That's not gonna break Cyborg. That, I mean, because I don't see how they're doing.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
No, because
you see how that interview, she was crying like, everybody's looking at Ronda as this great fighter, and what about me? Yes, it will get to her. Cyborg isn't a machine. At the end of the day, Cyborg is still a woman.
Until she gets in that octagon, and boy, they crumble. They crumble before that right hand and them knees and them body kicks. They crumble.
She's a human being. She can be mentally broke like any other human being.
Listen.
Not when she get in that octagon. It's a whole nother story. Because if going down, hold on, if going down to 100, if going down to 140 pounds. No, I didn't. I heard you. If going down to 140 pounds, damn near killing her didn't break her. Words ain't gonna break her when she get in there. That's just how it is.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you said that, because if going down to 140 pounds didn't kill her, get your ass down to 135.
Oh, okay. Well,
but she's already been commissioned. They're not going to let her. They're not going to let her do that.
Let's stop with the excuses that she.
They're not going to let her do that. Hey,
got the 138.
You had the commission. You had the commission already said they're not going to allow her to do it. Yeah, they're not going to allow her to do that anyway.
She made that documentary running around crying, talking about she about to die.
The guy, they had already said that before she made it. See, you got to get your facts right. You got to get your facts right. They already said before she made that documentary, they're not going to commission her.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Okay, hold on.
Coach, no, they didn't. Keep it real. No, they didn't.
I'm keeping it very real. They had already made that.
138.
No,
everybody,
but not 135. That's not 130. That's not 135 though. 138, 135. That's different.
She was going for it. Let's say, do I need to? Okay,
she was going. She was trying to make 140 pounds.
Send you this video.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead and send you the video where
Go
Cris
right
said,
ahead.
"Oh, I'm on my way to 135."
Yeah, that's when she first signed, and she actually thought that, hey, it would be doable. When she figured out it wasn't doable, she tried to get down to 140 pounds.
To fight Ronda.
Sir, I already know.
Okay, but look,
she had asked Ronda to come up to 140 to fight her, and Ronda, they didn't want to come up to 140 to fight her. They said no.
She said that she was willing to go to 135 to fight Ronda, and she got to 138. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it hurts to cut weight. It hurts to cut weight.
Right. But what you're saying, see, now we're going back and forth here, because they already said that they're not going to commission her to fight at 135. That's a fact.
But you're saying that they said this last year, and I'm telling you, no.
They did.
Don't give that excuse.
After the first, when did she try to fight? When did she try to fight Nina Landsberg? Wasn't that last year? When she fought Landsberg?
That was September. I said April.
Okay. Hold on. But let's try to remember, because she fought Nina Landsberg last year, correct?
September. I know the date. I watched it at Buffalo Wild Wings in
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wild Wings.
Okay.
Shout out.
But I'm saying that's damn near. Yeah, that's over a year ago. Last year.
Okay. Check this out. Because what we do, we have this, and we don't want we got the listeners here. We got some other stuff we want to get into. We understand there's a video out that can prove that. So we'll get to that video later. But we have my man, and we want to get everybody. And again, if you just jumped in, make sure you hit that like button. Truth, what I think you should do, we got Lavelle Williams in here. We got CHS Combat Sports. We got my man, I'm Amazing Eric. I'm here. Truth, why don't you go ahead and tell them your channel while everybody's here? Make sure you mention your channel. Shout out your channel real quick while we're here.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. First off, man, it's an honor to be here. I'm learning a lot listening, man, and this is enjoyable to me, man.
It's great.
Daughter is like, my daughter is super mad because it's supposed to be daddy-daughter time, but she'll be all right. She'll be all right, man. She'll be all right. But you guys can find me at Truth and Facts About Boxing right here on YouTube. You can also catch me at Instagram at Truth_FactBox1. Twitter, capital T for Truth_FactBox1. You can also catch me on The Movement with my man 2K from Prodigy of Boxing, Big Cool from Colossal Boxing, my partner in crime, Detective B, and Twine Levity. That's DAMUVMENT. And man, shout out to everybody out there that's paying attention. Like you said, hit that like button, pick up the phone, call your neighbor, wake up your girlfriend, wake up the 2-year-old baby.
Wake them up.
Listen to this. Wake them up. Listen to this. It's Friday. Ain't no school tomorrow. Ain't no church either.
Come on,
listen to this.
Ain't no church to Sunday. Now listen, and this is your boy. This is Amazing Eric Sports. Hit it with an Amazing Eric Sports if you want to jump on. Brand new YouTube channel out there. And we got Lavelle Williams and we got Coach here. Now let's get into this. Let's get into something that's more technical with the fight. This is something we covered earlier, but I don't think we broke this down enough. Because if you listen to,
Let's go.
the thought process, the schools of thoughts out there, let's give the people on this debate something a little more technical here. What I've been hearing as I listen to people who give Holly Holm a chance to win this fight, the one thing that I constantly hear is her game plan is going to be to move, to circle the octagon, to tire Cris out, and then later in the fight somewhere look for that head kick to take Cris out, which was,
That's not gonna work, Eric.
It's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work, Eric.
Okay, and here we go. That's what we're gonna get into now, because one thing we know Cyborg cuts off the octagon well, and I'm not gonna do that part. I'm gonna let you guys answer. But let's all three talk about that. Let's talk about what is Holly going to be able to move, keep her distance, circle the octagon, get Cyborg tired, and take her out later with a head kick. Let's go through. Let's go Coach first, Lavelle, then let's give my man Truth. But Coach, what do you think about that? Go right there.
Wait a minute. What's the question?
The question is, we're talking about what people feel like is Holly's best. The people who do pick Holly, most of the time, if you're looking in the comment section, they're saying that Holly is actually her success is going to be to circle, to move, to actually tire out Cyborg and look for that head kick somewhere between rounds 3 and 5. What do you think about that?
She's not going to tire. Okay. She's not going to tire. That's not going to happen. Okay. Holly can try to circle Cyborg, but it's not going to work because she don't actually have the foot speed to actually pull that off for 5 consecutive rounds. She don't have it. I said before, Holly's best chance is to actually show Cyborg her power, because Holly Holm does have power. Okay, she got a lot of power, and she's gonna have to make Cyborg respect that power. If she don't, Cris is gonna cut out the octagon. She's gonna pick and choose. Then she's gonna throw a variety of leg kicks to stop Holly Holm from moving. Okay, then she's gonna kick to the body. Cris Cyborg is an excellent body, a tactician. Okay, she's gonna leg kick to the body, and then she's gonna go up top. And then she's going to corner Holly Holm. Holly Holm's going to try to slip away. She can't. And Cris Cyborg is going to start throwing a barrage of combination punches to Holly Holm. I'm telling you, Cris attacks in 3 phases. And if you ever watch her fight, she's going to go low, medium, high. And she does it relentlessly. And I don't think Holly's going to be able to deal with that particular kind of a pressure, because it's almost like, you're trying to find a way out. Cris is still coming. You're trying to rest. Cris Cyborg is throwing punches. You're trying to, try to grab her for a takedown, but she's in the clinch. She's throwing all kind of knees and elbows, and it gets nasty. Cris is a true practitioner of bone-on-bone contact. That's what she loves.
Okay, and that's your breakdown of it. Now, Lavelle, I want you to talk about it, my man. I want you to jump in right there and tell me, do you think that Holly will be able to get that distance, keep her distance, move around, and maybe tire Cyborg out to take her out later? Do you think that's going to be able to work for her?
Look, Holly has to approach this fight with not 1, not 2, but I say 3 different game plans. If you think that you're going to tire Cris Cyborg out, it just isn't going to happen. You're not tiring her out. So the thing is, and I've been saying this since the beginning. I said this. And Coach I said this. I will press forward, and Cris, I will make her respect me.
Oh, okay.
I will press forward.
Yep.
And look, you like the brawl. If I was Holly, I would get a little scrappy, but I would still keep it a little technical. I wouldn't just immediately lock up with her, not in the beginning phases, because if you lock up with her as soon as the fight starts, it's going to get bad for you, Holly, for the simple fact A, she's stronger than you. And B, the fight just started, so she still has her stamina and everything up. What I would do is I would press forward, and I would make her respect my power. However, what I would do is that left leg and that right leg, I would tear them up right below the knee. I would tear them up. Holly, known for leg kicks. Instead of going for the head kick, I would destroy her bottom half.
Okay.
I would probably throw some push kicks in there too. Yeah, that's good.
I would destroy her bottom half, and I feel like if Holly, like every time, like Cris, I would check Holly's legs, both of them, and then what I would do is anyone who knows MMA, Holly does the same combination over and over, the same 3-piece combination over. That is not going to work against a Cris Cyborg. So what I would be doing, instead of just worrying about that right left kick, left right kick. Regardless of the leg, what I would do is I would get some hooks ready. I would get a nice up ready. I would come prepared. But what I would do is I would press forward in the beginning, and then as the fight progressed, and as you know, she like Cris gets a mental check that, hey, I'm not scared of you. I'm not running around, so you don't have to cut off anything. I'm coming towards you. What's up?
So Lavelle, if I got this straight, if I have this straight, you're basically saying to a certain point, not all the way, but you're basically saying she should fight fire with fire, like she should go into the teeth of the line, like she shouldn't stay away from it. She should actually step to Cris.
If she wants Cris to respect her, of course she has to.
So
At
she has
least
to.
at least for the first round, the second round, and I would press right up on her, because most fighters, like the Tanya Evans fight, which I just for some odd reason I watched like twice last week, she was running from her, and Cris was just walking her down, stalking her. No, like I would become the hunter and not the hunted.
Yeah, because your point sounds similar to a boxing match. As you were speaking, a boxing match just popped in my head, and I thought about Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev. And don't everybody start talking about that. I know that's a fire starter, but I mean Andre Ward's thing of I'm not gonna stay around, especially in the second fight, where you could tell he was making a point to step to the stronger fighter to gain that
Yes,
respect. Yeah.
you have
Now,
to.
truth. I heard as soon as I said this, truth. As soon as I said, Holly strategy, your first thing you said that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Tell us why you think that won't work. Break that down for us.
Because the way Holly Holmes, in order to go rounds with someone like like Cris Cyborg is, you can't necessarily engage her over aggressively, or you can't necessarily engage her because engaging Cris Cyborg is dangerous. And she's not somebody who expends a lot of energy. She's very methodical. She takes her time. She paces herself. She pounces on you when that time is right. So trying to get somebody like Cris Cyborg is tired could backfire on you, because you may have to go through so much to get her
Mm,
to that point that it might make you tired as well. Trying from a mental, from just mentally, it might make you tired as well, trying to get her to that point.
That
Okay,
and that's
because
a
the
real
thing
good
about
point.
Chris Cyborg is, yeah, because she has to like, in order for any game plan to work against a person like Chris Cyborg, because the whether you like her or you don't like Chris Cyborg, the one thing about her is she is so fast at capitalizing on when you make a mistake, and when
Absolutely.
she those capitalizations end in TKOs. It ain't
Mhm.
like she capitalized on it and you get a moment where you can recover and come out. You're done. You make
Hmm.
them, you're done. So that won't work against her, because she's not someone that's going to expend a lot of energy if you're moving around and chasing around. She's just going to wait and be methodical until either you slow down or you make that mistake and she pounces on you. That's why I don't think that works. I kind of like Lavelle's situation. She's going to have to come out right away and show Cris Cyborg, I'm not afraid of you. She's gonna
Yes.
you mentioned Andre Ward and Kovalev. I'll take it a step further. Um, what she's going to have to do, and there was a fight that a lot of people probably never got a chance to watch, but there was a fight between oh man, God, I just lost the fight
That's
in my
okay.
head.
That's okay.
Oh, Hagler Hearns. Hearns
Okay.
came out to try to show Hagler, listen, I'm not scared of you, man.
That's right.
I'll
He
stand
did.
here and I'll fight you. Now it backfired on him, of course, but I'm
Hmm.
saying though is it did take Hagler by surprise that first round, because he wasn't expecting Hearns to come out like that,
No, he didn't
and
think
it
he
took
was
him by
going to.
surprise.
Hmm.
Go
So
ahead.
I think no. I was just gonna say I think what you're saying is absolutely. I love Lavelle. I would. You need to get on the phone with Winklejohn. Lavelle, get on the phone with Winklejohn, because your strategy was. I really like the strategy that
Yeah.
you spoke about. I want to ask Coach this question. Coach, this is one I have for you, my brother.
Yes,
Now
sir.
there's a thought here, and I've heard people mention this. One of my videos I did on this. Someone came in the comment section and they spoke on this. There's a thought here that how can I break this down for you the right way? I'm going to give you another boxing analogy that possibly Cyborg could get that Marquez. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Mm.
Somebody said Cyborg could get that Marquez, and I know we're talking about Pacquiao Marquez 4. And what I mean by getting that Marquez is they were saying that Pacquiao was actually attacking Marquez so eagerly. He was coming at him. We all know what happened. And Marquez timed him. Now, albeit he did have 3 previous fights before that to have that, timing down pat. But do you think there's any chance the Cyborg can get too aggressive in this fight and be coming on too strong, and Holly could actually hold back a little bit and time her with something that maybe would take her out? Do you think that's even possible?
Now, look, this is MMA. You talking about high level strikers, okay?
Mhm.
So yeah, anything is possible. Now I can say possible, but likely. The one thing that I noticed that Cyborg does do is that it's almost like it's kind of, this gonna sound crazy, but it's almost like she's prepared to take punches, like she knows they're coming and she's expecting them. It's almost like she braces. Like even when she throwing her offense, she will immediately brace. You know, she'll brace herself because she knows that something could possibly be coming back. And it's kind of weird, man. You know that she does that. But you know, also too, see that fight when she fought against Jarena Bars, I think that was a big learning thing. I mean, and it created a learning curve because she was eating all these shots from bars and she was trying to figure out, well, you know, in the octagon, I don't eat shots like that. But now, you know, when I'm fighting against this seasoned fighter, you know, who's good at stand up, you know, I'm eating a bunch of shots. So now you look at how she fights now after that fight, man, you know, she's bracing herself. Literally, when she's throwing her offense, she's literally expecting a punch to come back. So it's kind of like, okay, so the punch is coming. Now, you know, with that being said, if Holly Holm clips her, you know, with the left or the right, because Holly got power in both her hands.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, yeah, she could catch her because if you catch somebody in the right spot, they can get caught. Anybody can get caught. You know, it just is, you know, and that's that 1% that, hey, that's the 1% that happens in fighting, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a great point to bring out. Another great point I wanted to get everybody's opinion on. We got one of our YouTube legends over here in the comment section. We got my man D Style Boxing over here. Been a fan. I'm a new YouTuber, but I've been a fan of D Style for years. So it's great to have him over there. He just left a point. He just left a comment I saw, and he made a good point. He said Holly is I'm gonna paraphrase him because the comment is up. I can't read it verbatim anymore. But he was basically saying he doesn't think Holly's gonna stay at distance. Because I mean, Cyborg's gonna stay at distance because she's gonna feel comfortable closing in on Holly because Holly's not that big of a threat to take her down and do something on the ground. Do you guys feel like Cyborg is gonna try to keep it at arm's length, or do you feel like Cyborg is just gonna try to press her and not respect the distance? What do y'all think about that? Whoever, jump in there. Lavelle, go first, brother.
She's Cris, if she was smart, her best bet would definitely be to lock up to take Holly down because Holly's ground game, let's just be honest, it isn't the best. Even though I've been watching videos on her, she's working on it, but let's just be honest, it just isn't the best. Cris isn't a dumb fighter, like as you all know. Do you think Cris isn't going to want to stand up and trade with Holly Holm or the likes of Jermaine Durant with strikers like that? She just isn't.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, my man? Truth, what do you think about that? Did I lose Truth again? Is he there? The trolls might have got him again. What about you, Coach? What do you think? You think she's gonna keep it at a distance, or you think Cris is just gonna close right in on her? How do you see that?
Chris, she's gonna have to get in on the inside because you know she's not as long as Holly. You know, from what I know, I can tell she's gonna have to get in on the inside because you know Evinger was longer than Cris Cyborg, and you know Cris waited and she waited for Tanya to throw, you know, these jabs, and Cris counterpunched Tanya and caught her. You know, and I think I think Cris is she's gonna try to pick Holly apart. She's gonna be very patient at first, and she's gonna study Holly Holm, study her movements, and see the one good thing about this fight to me is less dangerous for Cyborg because if you're not really attacking Holly Holm, she's not really going to press on you. Like Holly's gonna try to sit back and study, and then Cyborg is gonna try to catch a break when she's changing stances. That's when Cyborg is gonna close the distance, and when you close the distance against Holly Holm, she's very, very ineffective. You know, she can't do some of the things she can do at a range, you know, like I'm talking about that mid range, not like the long range, but mid range. You know, Holly Holm is actually a very good fighter. You know, she's very good, but when on the inside, she's not that great. Long range, she's good enough to keep you off of her, but you know that's only going to work for so long against Cris because Cris is going to study and she's going to wait for the opportunity. She's going to pounce on Holly, and that's just what it is, man. Like it's going to be like I hate to say it, you know, just what Lavelle said. It's gonna look like somebody trying to fight somebody in the street when Cris Cyborg get her hands on her. If she get in, okay. If she get like Holly, you can't make like fighters like Valentina and Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. You can't make mistakes against them. Like you can't throw the same 3-punch combination because they're gonna be on to that. They're gonna figure that out, and they just gonna capitalize. They're gonna tee off on you every chance they get. So
I agree. I totally agree with that. Holly has to be on the lookout for that big right hand, the overhand. Right.
Oh, that's a killer.
She has
That's a
to
killer.
be on the lookout. If she's not on the lookout for that, it is going to sleep time.
And Holly's a southpaw too, and that means you're more susceptible to the overhand right. That's something she definitely has to look out for. Now, let's address this because this kind of lit the comment section up. It was something my man Lavelle said that lit the comment section up when he said that Cyborg is not going to want to trade with Holly. I saw it kind of light up. Let's go ahead and let's get this out there. Do we think, I know Lavelle, you think that, I want to hear your point on that, but even the people in the comment section, tell us what you think. Coach, my man Truth, everyone. Can Holly really hurt Cyborg? There's a lot of arguments out there with people saying Holly is not knocking people out with her punches and all this stuff. Can Holly really hurt Cyborg? Go for it, Lavelle. Tell us what you think.
All I'm gonna say is go to the Jermaine Durandamy fight.
Okay.
That left hand hit Jermaine, and Jermaine was going down. It was actually Holly who kept her up because she grabbed her. So if you don't think Holly has knockout power, there's something wrong. The reason why you don't equate Holly's knockout power in her hands is because all the fighters she fight, they're typically dumb and they get set up with what her favorite thing is, the head kick. But to think that a boxer, 38-2 boxer, doesn't have knockout power, something is wrong with you. Stand in front of her. I bet you did. I bet you change your opinion.
I feel you. Okay, Coach, let's get your point on that. Can Holly actually hurt Cyborg? Do you think she can hurt her with a punch, with her striking?
I think she can make Cyborg respect her, but I think the only way that she's going to actually get Cyborg, she's going to use a kicking game. It's going to take her kicking game to do it. Her fist, see, you gotta understand, Cyborg, a fist fight, that's what she wants. She's used to a fist fight. She's used to going back and forth in fist fights. But if Holly can mix it up, now Holly, her kicking game is pretty good if she don't telegraph those kicks, And as of late, she kind of been telegraphing the kicks. If she don't telegraph any of those kicks, she can set Cyborg up. Because Cyborg, I'll tell you a couple of weaknesses. Cyborg can be submitted. She can be submitted. If your timing is good, you can submit Cris Cyborg. But your timing got to be almost impeccable. Like, you can't make that mistake, because you try to submit her, then it can end up being you getting hurt or getting beat down. But she can be submitted. But Cris Cyborg is also susceptible to the leg kick, the low ones, okay? And Holly can use those leg kicks to keep Cyborg at range, okay? And then she would have to set Cyborg up for a head kick that she's not expecting. That would hurt Cyborg, and that'll get Cyborg attention. I don't think she'll knock her out right. She's gonna have to hit her at least like 5 or 6 of those to knock Cyborg out. I'm talking about put her to sleep.
That's true. That's true. I feel like the thing, Cyborg, her IQ in fighting is so above a lot of fighters. Like, I can't express it enough. This is a woman who really, and everyone knows I'm not a Cyborg fan, but she really studies and masters her craft. If you this lady masters her craft, like Cyborg, this is the only thing that I think that will beat Cyborg. Cyborg will beat Cyborg. If she goes in there with a chip on her shoulder and just aggressive, overly aggressive and pissed off at Mike, that's going to be her ultimate demise. She has to go in there with a calm, cool. She has to be the technical fighter that we have known her to grow to be over the last year. She can't be the old Cyborg in the past. She can't. If she does, she's going to get beat. But the one thing about Holly, if you go in there timid, worried about the mistakes you made your last fight, that's all you're going to hear. You're going to sleep.
I hear you.
Don't play. Cris don't play. As much as I'm not a fan, she is a great fighter. I won't say the greatest, but she's in the top 3 greatest fighters of all time. And the girl, Cris just has this thing, I'm not losing. And when you fighting somebody like that, you have to go in there with the same mentality. Oh, you ain't losing, I ain't either. What's up?
And this is what I want to point out about my man Lavelle. This is what I want to point out. He'll go hard on his points, but he does not go to that hater point where he just won't even give props. I mean, Lavelle has definitely, during the course of this debate, shown that, hey, just because he feels Holly is going to give Cyborg that work, that's what he feels. He's giving his props to Cyborg also. Do we still have my man Truth? Did we lose your Truth? I know you had that.
No, yeah, I'm back. Okay. You know what? Let me say this right here.
Go for it.
There's 3 places you can have a 16% knockout ratio. There's 3 places if you hit a person, you wobble their legs a little bit. The temple, the earlobe right along the jawline, and the kidney shot. A well-placed punch, and when you want to, I don't care what percentage you have, you can knock them out. But now here's something about Cyborg. and this is not going to she may have taken steroids for whatever case, but steroids don't build up your chin, and Cyborg has one hell of a chin, and she has the will to go with that. You have to kill her to lose to her. So can Holly Holmes hurt her? What Holly Holmes has to do, she don't really have to have. There's different levels of power. There's that medium range power 1 to 5. Then there's that decent range power, which is anywhere between 7 to 10. Then there's the elite level power, one punch knocks you out. All Holly Holmes got to do is have enough power to make Cyborg hesitant. But someone with Cyborg's, she has a killer instinct that you don't see in most men fighters.
Yes.
And when she smells blood, she's worse than anything you will ever see in any combat sport. So if Holly Holmes throws something and Cyborg takes it, and somebody pointed this out, the return from Cyborg, you might hit Cyborg and give her something to think about, but the return from Cyborg puts you out. You ain't nothing to think about. You done. And like somebody mentioned that overhand, and that's that overhand right. And if you watched Holly Holmes in her when she boxed, she was very susceptible to that overhand right, especially when she's not moving. Yeah. So, listen. This is, in my opinion, once Cyborg gets in there, and I'm with Lavelle. She can't go in there. She can't be overzealous. She can't let her emotions take over her. And I think she's smart enough not to. But once Cyborg realizes, you know what, this is it. This when I'm gonna take this girl out. She literally can take Holmes out whenever she damn well wants to.
Ooh. Now let me say this about the power, because I wanted to chime in on this power thing. This is just for our listeners. Let's just keep dropping this great knowledge. Now, when we speak about power, I'm going to give you guys another, another boxing analogy here, because you were talking about the 1 to 5. I kind of think like you have punchers who would be, I say like a Paulie Malignaggi, that kind of puncher. And then you have what I call that middle range power that my man Truth just talked about. The reason I'm using boxing, because we're talking about striking now. Then you have that middle range power, who I would put fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward in, like fighters who can make you respect them. They might not sleep you, but trust me, you're going to respect that you got hit. Then, of course, if we want to go back in history to our big punchers, the Ernie Shavers or the George Foremans, both young and old George Foreman, nowadays what Golovkin was doing here and what Kovalev is doing. But even in the Kovalev, I'm saying what they did I'm not saying now, I'm saying a few years ago, Triple G was knocking everybody out. Let's just be real. That's another subject. We'll do that later. Lord. But I'm saying, I'm just being honest, man. He was a few years ago. But what I'm saying is, even a fighter who I think Holly, to me, I feel like Holly falls in that mid-range with her power. I think she has very respectable power. She has power. She's more of a skilled person with her hand. But even when we saw Andre Ward wobble Kovalev, it speaks to what Truth just said. If you get hit in the right spot, you can make them respect it. So I think Holly should be, I've heard a lot of people say this, and I just want to speak up for that. I think she should be looking to get Cyborg's respect, not to necessarily sleep Cyborg, but she needs to hit her with some stuff, like Lavelle said early, that early on in that fight, Cyborg knows this is not going to be a pushover. I'm coming to fight too, and if you step to me in the wrong way, you can get hurt. And that brings us to Coach. Coach, you were saying, you were just doing your all man thing when I was talking. But that brings us to this point I want to bring up. You hear him? You heard him back there, True. Oh, whatever, E. But this brings us to what I was wanting to ask you, and I wanted to ask you this because it's kind of more of a, I know Lavelle doesn't like to get out of the range of other people, but we talk about the Joanna Bars fight a lot, right? We talk about that fight a lot.
Joanna JoJo Bars.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joanna Bars. But we talk about that fight a lot because we know Cyborg did lose that fight. Can you tell us why? Can you break it down for the people listening why that's not applicable? Like, you can't compare that fight to what's going to happen with Holly Holmes, because first of all, it's two different sports. But can you give some thought on that when people say, well, look what Joanna Bars did to her? Break that down for us.
Well, okay, you kind of can compare them, and I'm going to tell you why. Because okay, it's two things that's probably not going to happen in this fight. Okay, this fight probably won't go to the ground. Okay, it's going to be a lot of clinching. It's going to be a lot of elbows thrown. Probably, this fight more than likely won't go to the ground. First of all, Holly Holm would prefer not to go to the ground. Okay, she's not going to initiate a takedown. I mean, she did against Jermaine, and it was unsuccessful. And Jermaine really isn't that great with BJJ. So Holly Holm probably would be a fool to try to take her down. So this fight probably might end up being a complete stand-up battle between these two. It might be, hand to hand. It might just be that. And so Holly, see, certain things that Jarena JoJo Bars would do that Holly won't do. Like Jarena is a master at setting traps. Like she knows how to do it. And if you watch that fight, she actually baited Cyborg in, and Jarena is slow, but she's very technical. So she baited Cris Cyborg in, bam, she was catching him with knees and head kicks. But see, she was doing it in such a way where Urena could use her leverage to actually, get some of those punches to really, boom, put Cyborg down. Okay, then second, her head kicks. Okay, Urena, she really does a nice little feint when she tries to throw a head kick, and this is something that Holly really don't do. See, Urena threw a head feint. She threw a head feint to the body, so Cyborg, naturally, tried to block to the body. But what happened? Urena took the head kick up, and she caught Cyborg cleanly with her shin, knocked her down. And these are skills that Holly Holm, she don't do that. She don't do that in the octagon. But again, the fight's going to be a stand-up fight. It's going to be mostly a stand-up fight, unless Cris Cyborg initiates that takedown. Because other than that, if Cris is comfortable on her feet and she feel like she's winning the fight, she's not going to go for a takedown. She not. I mean, Cris is not going to attempt it. And now if she was losing the fight, like literally, then Cris would try a takedown. But I don't think Cris foresees herself actually losing a stand-up battle versus Holly Holm. I can't see it. But see, that's where people got to really look at that bars fight, because you got to look at, who you're fighting. Do you have a person like, like a Joanna Jacek, they're not going to take you down. It's going to be a straight stand-up fight. This fight is going to be, so you can actually, Holly would be smart to look at what Urena JoJo Bars did to capitalize on Cyborg. Like Holly need to watch that fight, because you're looking at an image of what the fight could possibly be. The only difference is that in Muay Thai, when you get knocked down brutally, they give you time to get back up and they count you. They count you. They give you a 10 count, so you get up. But see, in MMA they don't do that. And see, Holly can mess around, knock Cris Cyborg down, think she got her hurt. But see, now when you're dealing with a BJJ artist, when they're on their back, they're not in danger. They actually have good position, and they can submit you from the back. And Cris Cyborg knows how to use the triangle chokehold. She knows that, man. She knows it like the back of her hand. And see, that could be problematic. So that's what I'm looking at with this whole bars and Cyborg thing. I mean,
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
Coach, the only problem with that is what Jarena JoJo Bars did. I don't know if Holly Holmes, because she doesn't fight that way, I don't know if Holly Holmes will have enough time, depending on if she's doing it now, if she'll have enough time to try to even master that going into training camp.
Mhm.
That's the problem. At this stage, would you really have to reshape Holly Holmes to fight like that, or would she just have to take bits and pieces of what she was successful at?
She probably had to get the bits and pieces, but the one thing that Holly could do, she could actually feint to the body and deliver a head kick. Because Holly Holm head kicks, they're very powerful, and she took Jermaine Durandame down off her feet one. I mean, she knocked Jermaine off her darn feet. I mean, I thought Jermaine had a damn magic carpet under her feet when she got knocked down. I mean, and I'm just saying, Holly could do that, man. Because Cris Cyborg, I'm gonna be honest, she's susceptible. She's susceptible to head feints. She'll fall for them almost every time. She's susceptible to low leg kicks. I mean, and if you can get her really in the right position, you can submit her. See, those are her really three really key weaknesses. That a feint, you can feint Cyborg to death, and she's gonna go for it. So why not feint to the body, let Cyborg commit to the body, and then boom, you level her, you hit her with a head kick. See, that's what Holly Holm gonna have to start doing. That's what Jarena Bar, she did it the whole time. The only thing that Holly Holm can't simulate, because now when you're in the ring, you have those turnbuckles, and so Urena she would go run to her, she would back to a corner. She would let Cyborg come to her, and Urena jumped up in the corner. She put her arms on the ropes, jumped up, and nailed Cyborg right in the face, knocked Cyborg down. Now, you can't do that. You can't do that in the octagon, but she can do the feint to the body, high head kick. It's going to work almost every time.
And I think that's quality stuff we're getting here. Everybody in the comment section, all you guys know what Coach just did and what these guys are doing. They're showing of the other angle, and I think that's great, because because Coach, like you said, I want to give you props right here, man. Just because you are saying that you think this is going to be pretty much easy work for Cyborg, but you were still able to put the knowledge out there and at least give a path to victory that you see Holly could follow to get there. Now, as we get ready to wrap this up, because we don't want to hold everybody too long, I just want to go around one more time and get everybody to give, if you can, our three guys here on the panel, give us your round and your prediction on exactly how you think the fight is going to play out. What's going to happen, Coach? Tell us first.
Cris Cyborg by TKO. She's going to catch Holly Holm with a punch. Holly Holm is, gonna feel it. She's gonna back up. She's gonna crouch down into a ball, and Cris Cyborg will commence to beating Holly Holm as if Holly Holm was in the street and Holly Holm stole something from her house.
Okay. We have that one in. Now, my man Lavelle. Lavelle, tell us your prediction. What round? What's gonna happen?
I think it's going all 5 rounds, and I think Holly is going to wind up winning by submission.
Okay. All right.
Submission it isn't going to be an armbar. I think it's going to be either a rear naked choke or a triangle.
Okay. All right. What about you, my man Truth? What about you?
Man, I hate to do this, but I think Holly Holmes will find some success in the first round, but I'll say she'll probably get around the 3rd or 4th round, and she'll make a mistake and not just see Cris Cyborg capitalize on her. Or I just see Cris Cyborg capitalize on her making a mistake. I think Holly will come in with the right game plan, but she'll lose focus because there's that moment where she loses focus, and I think Cyborg's going to capitalize on her and knock her out.
I hear you. Well, what we want to do now that we've done this, because I think what we have here is we have with Lavelle, Coach, and also my man Truth. I think we had a good fight today. We had a good scrap, but I see a rematch in the cards here. I see a rematch. I see maybe a trilogy with this before this fight happens. We have to get back. We got to get you guys to do this again. We got to bring this heat again. So if everybody, one more time, Truth, just tell them your YouTube page one more time, my brother, before we close it up.
Truth and Facts About Boxing, man.
All right, Lavelle, can you tell them where to find you, my brother? Do you want to share that information?
You can find me on Instagram, Lavelle Zachary Williams, Facebook, Lavelle Zachary Williams, my YouTube page. I got a new page coming. I'm building it. This is just my page to have fun, but it'll be Lavelle Zachary, and it should be up in the next few weeks.
All right, and Coach, my man, you got something to say to the people before we get? Well, you know what? Let me say mine, Coach, so you can close us out. I want to say you can find your boy. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Amazing Eric, that's with an E. Amazing Eric Sports. You can just find that right there on YouTube. Coach, why don't you go ahead and close us out, bro?
Hey man, I want to appreciate especially Truth and Facts. You, Eric, for moderating everything. Lavelle, definitely, man, definitely appreciate you, man. And whatever we own, man, it's always good, man. Because and a lot about Lavelle, man. The guy's a student, man. He's a college student, man. He's working, and definitely takes care of his home. He's a close family guy. And I respect the guy, man. I really respect him, and I think he's gonna head somewhere big in his future. Eric, you're really good at what you do, and I say that you're the best moderator on YouTube. So you have to speak things into existence. So I've already spoken that.
I appreciate it.
And Truth and Facts, you're one of the best boxing minds, man. Because I can go to your channel if I want to look at a live stream. I don't have to worry about people attacking me in the live stream section. I can just go there and actually get a good listen. And I don't have to deal with a lot of stuff. So I actually tend to look at your live streams more than some of the people that, with the larger channels, because I know that what I'm getting, you're going to have good guests on there, quality, and you're also going to have decent points that you make up, man. So it's always it's always good, man. And hopefully, I hope you be one of the bigger boxing channels. And I even
He will be
some of your interviews, and I even, man, hope to see you do a couple of interviews live, man. Like that's really, I can see you doing that, man, because you got a skill set, man, and you drop some gems, man. In the first hour of this video, you drop some serious gems on the boxing game, promoters, how these fighters doing. See, a lot of that stuff, I'm sitting here taking it in, man. So I enjoyed you, man. So thank you, guys.
And
man,
Coach,
the pleasure was mine, man.
Coach, let me give my props too. Let me give props to my man Lavelle and my man Truth and you. Let me, first of all, Lavelle, actually what I respect about Lavelle is he don't care if 2,000 people go against him. I respect that. That's real man stuff. He stands strong on his point, and I echo what you said about Lavelle, Coach. I think this brother, when he starts his channel, I think he's going to do great things. His real channel that he's working on now. I can't wait to see that. Truth and Facts, man. This is my first interaction with you, and I just want you to promise me, Truth, I can come on your show and we can do a live stream one day. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh man, of course, man. All you guys, man.
All right, man.
That'd be the greatest thing ever happened.
Hey, well, I'm putting you on the spot, and I know for a fact, man, that channel is about to blow. I can't wait to see that blow. And coach, what can I say about you, my big brother in this game? You know, brand new. I hear you took me under the wing, and also all of the people in the comment section. Thank you guys for coming through. Tell somebody because we got it. We're gonna keep this going. We're gonna blow this up. So until the next one, everybody, we're about to sign off. We'll holler at you guys later. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Peace. And
All
that's
right.
and that be a wrap.